Windy later tomorrow, the high 65. Friday can start with a shower mainly south and east of the city. Otherwise, mostly cloudy, breezy, and cooler. The high 55 early, then temperature will slowly fall. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Right now, sunshine, 40 degrees in downtown St. Louis. I'm Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
Chris Ranji, Amy Marks Kors, The Chris and Amy Show.
Check it out. St. Louis, Mound City, we are going to have a great day today.
On 104.1 FM.
Let's take it from the top.
KMOX.
Good morning, friends. Wednesday? Already? Doesn't it feel like the week is flying by? Is it just me? I was here on Monday. I was here on Tuesday. I don't have a short week. This is my first full week in a while, but it feels like this week is going by really quickly.
I'll tell you what. I don't know that it's going by quickly, but it doesn't feel slow. I'll give you that. It's not a slow week. There are some weeks that...
And so I hear you.
Yeah.
But
this
since
does not feel slow. This feels great. This is a great week.
This is a good week. It is Wednesday, and therefore today we hump. 314-436, it's hump day. Hump day. 314-436-7900. You may call and text. You may also, if you want. And actually, you have to. You have to, if you have something to say, you have to leave us a voice message directly on the Odyssey app. You should also have that app on your phone to listen to the station and the podcast. And Cardinals baseball when the season comes up, and it is approaching rapidly. Follow us there on Twitter at ChrisAmyKMOX, and you can watch the show live on Facebook and YouTube as well.
Time now for the top of the order. The top 3 stories everyone will be talking about.
Don't freak out, but the Cardinals made a trade.
Oh.
It's not Nolan Arenado.
Is it an LHP?
It's not Brendan Donovan. It is an LHP. It is a left-handed reliever. His name is Justin Brule, and they get him from the Cleveland Guardians for cash. Now, we've got Lynn Worthy, who covers the Cardinals, coming up on the show. He covers the Cardinals for the Post-Dispatch, and Lynn will join us at 10:30 today to talk about the Cards' offseason.
Sorry, this is a quick note. Would you feel like, wouldn't it hurt your feelings if we traded Matt for cash? Like, don't you want at least somebody? Might hurt my feelings if you traded me for cash.
We'll get into that later.
High Point's announcing the closure of 3 locations. What other restaurants might be going away in 2026? Well, good news. We've got George Mahey, dining editor of St. Louis Magazine, joining us in studio at 11:30.
He'll also be telling us about what's coming to the area. Tonight, Blues and Blackhawks will play, and then it's a big college basketball night as well. SLU will take on VCU. That's a tough one. That's going to be right here on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Quick note.
And Mizzou and Kentucky.
Yeah.
That's a big game tonight,
6
too.
o'clock. SLU has never won in Richmond.
A tough place to play.
This hopefully is their first victory. The Blues game, you know me, Hockey Amy's back, but dude, it says 8:30 face-off. It's going to be 8:50. It's a TNT game, and it's always 15, 20 minutes later than the game time start.
Yeah.
Again, I know I'm getting old because 8:50 may as well be midnight. That's how late it feels to me right now.
You know, the one thing that you have going for you, I think,
Me
is...
personally?
Well, if you're a hockey fan and you need to get to bed, hockey games aren't that long.
They're not. And you always know exactly how long they're going to be.
Right, unless there's an overtime. But even then, it's
5 minutes.
Yeah.
It's 5 minutes. So... yes, it's a nice little package. A hockey game is basically it's a commitment of 2.5 hours. You know that, but again, I think I'm getting old because an 8:50 puck drop just feels like midnight.
You know, guys, since we're talking about sports here.
Oh no! Please, this is not you still being upset, is it?
Okay, I know that I am my college football team that I follow. It does not have wide mass appeal.
Say the name.
It's Illinois State.
That's right.
They were in the national championship game, the FCS championship, on Monday night.
Which is the fake championship, right?
No, it's real. I mean, it's just a different... It's not like the league Alabama, Florida, and Oregon and those schools and Indiana playing.
It's a very big deal. And it's your alma mater.
It is.
And
Missouri State was in the same league up until this year. So those are the kind of schools we're talking about.
Yeah.
Anyway... they're in the championship game, and they They blew it. They had a chance to win with about a minute to go, and they blew it. And they had 2 kicks blocked in the final minutes and in overtime. Then they ended up losing in overtime.
Snap, hold, kick, up, good! For a national championship! In overtime!
So that's from ESPN, and we thank them for making me watch that. Here's the thing. I know that I am. This is not a school that a lot of people get behind. It's me, my friends, people I went to school with. I get it.
Probably just far enough away that it doesn't feel St. Louis local, or does it feel?
Well, here's the other thing. A lot of people from this area don't go there. A lot of people from St. Louis, if they go to one of the Illinois schools, they end up going to SIUE or Carbondale. For whatever reason.
My buddies are all SIU or SIUE. Yeah.
For whatever reason, Illinois State is like central Illinois and north. Those are that's where most of the people are coming from. At any rate,
like it almost has more of a Chicago vibe.
Yeah, more of that.
Yeah. My family members, aunt, uncle, cousins, lived in Chicago, moved to Bloomington Normal. Yeah, so it feels like a Chicago vibe.
A lot of people, and also from like Peoria and El Paso and some of the smaller towns in central Illinois. But here's the thing. Forget about the team.
Okay.
It's taken me now a day and a half, I guess, to really think about it and process it. That I do think that in my lifetime as a sports fan, it is the worst loss of my lifetime. It's the worst sports loss of my lifetime. And I'm thinking about, I'm throwing in Don Denkinger, that game.
Wow.
However, I was like 7. So I didn't get the full emotion of that. When you're 7 years old, you don't really quite grasp what's going on. I think about that. Thought about the Winnipeg series last year. That was devastating, but it was a first-round matchup. It wasn't like the Stanley Cup final, and they were 0.2 seconds away from that. And I'm having this conversation with somebody yesterday about it, and I said, you know what? The loss still stings. I wish they had lost by 5 touchdowns. It would have been so much easier to deal with because you could just say, all right, well, they were here. They're in the championship game. They tried. They got their fannies smacked, whatever. But when you are this close to winning the thing, and there's a very good possibility you never get there again, I think that is far more devastating. And her response was, well, don't you want the game to be closer so that the players and you as a fan can take more pride knowing you hung in there with one of the best teams in the country? And I said, no. That does nothing for me.
There's no such thing as a moral victory.
Exactly.
And when you lose by 4 or 5 touchdowns, it gives you the luxury of separation where you can almost say it wasn't meant to be.
Right.
Montana State was going to win. It was their game. And here's how I can prove it. We still talk about, and we'll continue to talk about, the Blues losing in Game 7 to the Winnipeg Jets. And even though it was the first round, devastating because they were winning that game. The Jets tied it with 0.2 seconds left, and then the Blues lose it in overtime. You had it in your hand. You could taste victory. You lost it, and it's your fault. You did it. You had victory. You were about to sip from the cup of champions, and you blew it. We talk about that. We'll always talk about that. Guess what I've almost forgotten about? The Cardinals getting swept by the Boston Red Sox in 2004. Nobody cares.
That's right.
It wasn't meant to be. The Red Sox were going to win. We just happened to be the sad saps that had to play them in the World Series. Blah, 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 whatever.
Ran into a buzzsaw.
Yeah.
What are you going to do about it? Yeah, what are you going to do?
Not our fault.
But there's something far worse about having something in your hands and having it taken away from you.
Yes.
That is just it. You know what it's like? Remember when City SC had their inaugural season and our boss came in here with 2 bags and said, hey, try these on. Yep. And they were City SC jerseys. Remember the kits?
Oh,
we saw the kits for the first time.
They fit.
He said, try these on.
And they fit, each of us, beautifully.
So we tried them on and we're like, wow. Yeah, we took a picture.
He had us take a picture.
And we thought, wow, thank you so much. And he said, okay, give them back. Those are for Y98.
Yeah.
Remember that?
It was hurtful.
Yeah.
We'll never forget it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if he
That's
had
honestly
nev-
why I've been mailing it in ever since.
if he had just walked right past the studio and not shown us, not given us those bags, I wouldn't care about it.
Here's what it's
But
like.
the fact that we had them on, we were wearing them,
Yeah.
and ripped those away from us.
It
That's
is-
devastating.
It is. It's the taste. It is like you are going to stay a week somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where you're going. Let's say you're in Cancun. You're gonna stay a week in Cancun, and you know, like, man, I'm going there on a budget. Okay, yeah, I got to stay at the the Podunk Inn,
Yeah.
and it's going to be rough, and the sheets are going to be dirty, and it's going to be gross because I just don't have the cash. But you're prepared for it,
Right.
Versus showing up to Cancun, and they grab your hand and they lead you into the Four Seasons. They look at this place, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing,
Luxury.
and they go, oh, Chris Ranji, oh, we thought this was sorry, no, you're not here. And then you take your bags, you walk out of the Four Seasons, and now you got to go stay at the Podunk place.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be better if you never saw the
That's
Four
right.
Seasons.
Don't show me
Don't-
what I could have had.
That's right.
Just never give it. And I would like to know how people feel about this.
Well,
is this
yes.
true for you as well, or do you disagree? Do you take some sort of pride in your team coming close to winning the whole thing,
No.
to winning the big game? You know, hey, we hung in there with the best team in the land. Do you take some pride from that?
I don't.
Because I don't. And let me take it a step further. One of the things in sports that I despise the most
Yeah.
is when the playoffs happen, and it doesn't matter what sport, like the Blues last year. They lose to Winnipeg. Let's say the Jets go on and win the Stanley Cup that year. And the people who go, well, at least we lost to the Stanley Cup champions. Screw that. Screw that. If my team loses and there's another round beyond it, I want the team that beat my team to lose badly.
Well, and
I want them to be out immediately, and you know what it is? Spite.
Yes, and that's why when the Blues lost last year, I never tweet, and I tweeted this. I hope the Jets get swept by the Stars, and then I hope the Stars get swept. Like, I just wanted them all to lose. The only time where maybe the Stanley Cup victory or the World Series champions matters is if you are using the buzzsaw analogy. Well, it was, the Kings. It was their year in 2011. Doesn't matter. Everyone who lost to the Kings in 2011 doesn't care. No one was going to stop them.
Right. And
Was it
nobody's
2012? No, I can't remember. Anyway, it was the Kings in 2011 or 2012. They won the Stanley Cup. They were a buzzsaw riding on the back of Jonathan Quick. And it wasn't so much at least we lost to the winners. It was, they couldn't be stopped.
And nobody is going to remember. Nobody's going to remember the Texas Rangers came close to winning the World Series. I mean, Rangers fans aren't going to say, well, hey, at least we almost did it that year.
Yeah.
No, they're devastated by what the Cardinals did.
In 96.
Devastated.
In 96, when the Blues lost in overtime, when Steve Yzerman took his shot from center ice, went over John Casey's shoulder, nobody remembers or cares whether or not the Red Wings won the Cup that year. By the way, they
Right.
didn't. The Colorado Avalanche did. The Wings won the Cup the 2 next years.
Yes.
But nobody cares. It has nothing to do with nobody cares. Like, what makes Yzerman's goal worse is that they lost in the next round to the Avalanche.
Yeah.
Nobody says that.
Right. That's exactly right. And that was one of the games that I was thinking about. I was going through the list of bad sports losses in my lifetime. I thought about that one. I thought about Winnipeg last year. I thought about the Denkinger game. I thought about Illinois State in the first championship game they were in 11 years ago, and they took the lead late and gave it up, I think, as time expired. That was a tough loss. This one was far worse. And so we would like to hear from you. Do you want your team to get... I feel like if we did a Twitter poll on this one, it doesn't happen to be our Twitter poll of the week, though, unfortunately.
Yeah, that was bad planning.
But if it were the Twitter poll of the week, I bet it would be overwhelming that people would say, absolutely, I'd rather get blown out than get close and lose it.
That's good. I don't know. I trust you on that. A lot of times whatever I feel is not what the majority thinks. Everything I do is not popular. But so I don't know what to assume. But I am with you on this, that it's much better emotionally to just have no hope
That's
at all.
Yes. Thank you. You nailed it. Amy Marks Kors and Chris Ranji on KMOX. Guess, you know what's another stupid idea? Dry January. Are you doing it?
314-436-7900.
104.1 FM, KMOX.
New tax resolution firms are popping up every day with high-paid celebrity endorsers, advertising ridiculous claims in their TV ads. That's why they have the tiny, unreadable disclaimers at the bottom of the screen. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. Our ads never have those ridiculous, fast-talking, tiny disclaimers at the end because, simply put, there are no guarantees when it comes to the IRS and wiping out tax bills. And we don't make promises we can't keep. Of course, there are ways the Lance Drury Law Firm can help resolve your tax debt, but no company can guarantee it will eliminate it. This is why their clients call the Lance Drury Law Firm when those promises don't pan out. If you have tax problems, you have legal problems, call me, Lance Drury in St. Louis, at 314-260-6120 or visit Lance, D-R-U-R-Y, law.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
We get it. Attention spans just aren't what they used to be. Heads in social media and eyes on Netflix. But what do people do with their ears? Well, for one, they're listening to audio. Americans spend 4.4 hours with audio every day. Oh, and you want the proof? Well, you just sat through this ad that's now approaching 30 seconds. What could you say to a potential customer in 30 seconds? Let Odyssey put together a media plan tailor-made for your unique marketing needs. Advertise with Odyssey. Visit ads.odyssey.com.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
Hey, Joy. Oh, you are glowing.
Oh, hey. More like Mira Joyed. That Miralax helped me go. I was so backed up. Tried mega coffees, prune juice, everything. Then Miralax. And hello, gentle relief without the harsh side effects.
Ooh, how does it work?
It works naturally with the water in your body for constipation relief. Find Miralax today at your local retailer.
Use as directed for occasional constipation. Okay, we've got the chips, the fancy cheese, the sparkling cider. Oh, and I need to fill up the tank on the way home.
Look at the cart. We haven't even hit midnight yet, and you're already blowing your save money resolution for next year.
I'm not blowing it. I'm being smart. I'm using Upside.
Upside? That cash back app?
Exactly. I just claimed an offer, and just like that, I'm getting cash back on all these groceries. And I'll do the same at the gas station. It's how I earned an extra $250 this year.
Wait, $250?
Yep, that's extra cash I can cash out to my bank or throw onto gift cards to my favorite spots.
Download the free Upside app and start earning cash back now. Use promo code POP10 for a $10 bonus on your first grocery purchase. That's promo code POP10. Make your resolution easy this year. Download the free Upside app today and use promo code POP10 for an extra $10 bonus on your first purchase.
Offers vary by user and location at participating merchants. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
Hey, City fans, the official 2026 St. Louis City SC Yeti refillable Rambler is here. Pre-order yours now at stlcitygo.com to get yours by the home opener on February 21st.
Hi, this is Randy Carricker. Congratulations to KMOX, 100 years strong as the voice of St. Louis.
We were talking about devastating losses because Ranj still smarting from the Illinois State loss.
I honestly will never recover from it.
Yeah. Well, Harambe texts in.
Yeah?
He says, Harambe here. I'm a Notre Dame fan. At least you were allowed to be in the playoffs.
Well, okay. I'd rather not have gone. I would rather this team had not gone to the playoffs. Dude, it's so difficult, especially when, I don't know, maybe they will get back there again. And by the way, we have a texter who says, the biggest thing I despise in sports is we. There's no we. You're not part of the team. You're not part of the ownership. Just calm down. I agree with you until it's college, because in college, you've paid them a considerable amount of money. I am on that team.
Yeah.
I went to that university. I am part of the team. So I say we when it comes to college sports. You can disagree. That's fine. But that's how I look at it. I don't know that I will get past that one. I think that's a permanent. And I hate to say this, but it's so difficult. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't think they get back there.
Wow.
I didn't think they would get back there, and they did 11 years later. But it's so hard, and they have a lot going against them in terms of recruiting, and, I don't know. I just have a very difficult time with it. Anyway, also Colonel Ripper says, he's watching us on YouTube. He says, I hated the 04 World Series, such a gut punch after the great season. And I agree, but I think there's a difference between the gut punch and the disappointment of a team not showing up when they were one of the best teams in the sport all season long. And then you get to, like, the Yankees, was it 2002? What Yankees team was it that won like 115 games and lost in the division round? That's just disappointing.
And what's weird is that happens in hockey. Like the Tampa Bay Lightning would win the President's Cup and lose in the first round. It's a curse in hockey.
Yes, so I would be angry about it.
Yeah.
I would rather have anger than absolute devastation. Those are two different emotions.
Yeah. Okay, and this is not relevant, but I will say when you talk to former Cardinals, they all say that 04 team was the best team they'd ever seen. The 04 team, Cardinals. How good they were.
They were very good. Very, very good.
We do have a texter that says, hey, Chris and Amy, my opinion regarding sports team success is that it depends on your capabilities as a team. If, like the St. Louis Cardinals, the season expectation is low, yet by some miracle they made the playoffs or a chance at a World Series, I'd be proud and happy. But if the expectation was very high and they got close or lost in round 4 of the World Series, or game 4, I guess, it'd be terrible.
See, that's...
I think it's a little different because we're talking about a very specific moment on how you lose. But I do definitely get what that
No, I get that sentiment.
The Blues have a chance at a wild card spot, and it feels like a disastrous, blown season because the expectations were so much higher.
That's right. No, I completely agree. There is a difference when expectations are there and a team doesn't deliver. To me, that's more frustration and anger, which are, I believe, in my personal opinion, I think those are easier emotions to have than absolute devastation.
Well,
like something was yours and then taken away from you.
I know
that is a lot tougher to deal with.
And you can't drink your problems away. No. Because we do want to ask you about this, so we want to hear from you so we can continue the conversation. Are you doing a dry January? 314-436-7900. I keep seeing these videos from people who have said that they are giving up alcohol or they've given up alcohol for the past 3 months. It's changed their lives. They're a totally different person. And here's the thing. I didn't have any drinks until I was 27, and then I kind of, I enjoyed bourbon or tequila in my 30s. I haven't had a drink in a year. I mean, it was that last year when I had that tequila, and I haven't had a drink in a year. I don't feel any different. Did I not drink enough to notice a difference?
This is how I felt during...
I don't feel I haven't had a drink in a year. I don't feel like that much better than I always feel.
It's like COVID. When we were at home, we weren't really going anywhere. People weren't going to bars. I mean, I guess some people were. But you weren't out, right? I didn't drink at all because I'm not one of those people who likes to have a glass of whiskey or a glass of wine at night. I'm just not one of those people. I am a social beverage consumer. I like to be with people when I'm doing it. So I just didn't do it at home. And I remember having the conversation a few times with people, and they say, well, you must feel great. I'm like, no, I feel worse. I feel so much worse. I haven't had a drink in like 4 months. I feel terrible right now.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't feel better.
I just don't think I drink enough to have a physiological benefit because I do think if you have 10 drinks an entire year, that's almost like not drinking at all. And they say even one drink will increase your risk of cancer or make you unhappy. And I get, like I said, as someone who doesn't drink very much at all and has not had a drink in a year. I pretty much always feel the same.
Saw a friend on New Year's Day, and I told him I was going to steal this idea from him and not give him credit, but I'm going to give him credit now. And we were talking about dry January, and I know a lot of people who do it, and I think it's kind of, I don't know, it's fine if you want to do it. It doesn't hurt, obviously, if you just want to take the month off.
I mean, I'm accidentally doing it.
I'm not sure what the real benefit is if you take off a month but just get right back to it in February. But he said, you know what? No, but I am going to do landline January. I'm not going to use my cell phone all month. I said, all right.
Is that for real?
That's what he said he's going to do.
He has a landline?
He broke his phone. So his phone is broken. It's shattered. He could barely read the screen. And he said, you know what? I'm just going to do landline January. I thought, what a great idea.
A great idea.
How about take an entire month off from using your mobile phone?
I love it.
Can we commit? Can we all commit to landline January?
Yes, as soon as I get a landline.
If you want to participate in landline January, let us know. That means no mobile phone. You just use your phone at home if you have one.
Yeah.
Or email.
Or you got to get a landline.
That is
sponsored by AT&T.
That is correct. 314-436-7900. Join us. We're going to talk to Tiger Joyce, who's the president of the American Tort Reform Association, because apparently St. Louis is one of the worst judicial hellholes in the country. We're going to find out what that means. We'll talk to Tiger Joyce next. But you know what is happening right now? It is the playoffs. That's right, the college playoffs. And FanDuel is giving all customers a profit boost every college playoff game day. So what that means is there are more chances to level up your picks and turn big moments into even bigger wins. As you know, we are a month in to live sports betting being available in the state of Missouri. So you can now, with the college playoffs going on, ride with the favorite, take a shot on the underdog, build a parlay if you're feeling adventurous. Then you can take that profit boost and go for bigger winnings. FanDuel is the best place to get into the football action all playoff long, and you'll get paid instantly as well. So visit FanDuel.com/Missouri. That's FanDuel.com/Missouri. And get your college playoff profit boost today. 21 plus and present in Missouri. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey guys, Dave Glover here from the Dave Glover Show. So, what is my show? My show is 4 different people living 4 different lives, all coming together every day between 1 p.m. and 5 p.m. to talk about life, actual life. Not so much headlines or did you see what Trump did today or XYZ. Never predictable because I never know what I'm going to talk about from one segment to the next. So it truly is unique and unpredictable. Join us.
104.1 FM, KMOX.
Get organized and save big money with Dakota Closets at Menards. Dakota Closets can be installed in any room, from home offices and laundry rooms to walk-in or reach-in closets. Use the You Create Closet Planner, available in-store or online, to design a Dakota Closet system that maximizes your space and matches your style. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for more great deals happening this week.
Save big money at Menards.
Now, KMOX weather from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
Currently, it is 45 degrees, and it's pretty outside Studio B. Mostly sunny and warm today, a high of 65. Tonight, increasing clouds and a low of 46.
Weather sponsored by Renner Garage Door, forward and back, RENNER.
Cardinal Cowboy here. Renner Garage Door has you covered. Renner's been turning garage doors from zero to hero since 1966. RennerDoorSTL.com.
RENNER. Pizza's here. Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater. My dad passed away at the age of 63. It's out of nowhere. Had a stroke. Super hard, obviously,
for the whole family, but my dad had life insurance. This is why I have life insurance for my family, for my wife and 4 kids. And the best place to get life insurance is ethos.com because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test, just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, ETHOS, ethos.com/Mike.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try it for free, and you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX and the free Odyssey app.
Chris Ranji, Amy Mark Scores with you. And I think this is a real good news, bad news situation, Ranj.
Sure.
We're number 6. We're number 6.
That's not bad.
In the country.
I could look at that multiple ways.
Yeah. However, it is...
Has our murder rate fallen to number 6? Because that's a victory.
I don't know.
Okay.
I'll have to double check. We, St. Louis, were ranked number 6 among the nation's worst, quote, judicial hellholes.
Okay.
So it's not great. New data shows that every St. Louis resident pays a $1,653 annual tort tax, with over 30,000 jobs lost in the city each year due to lawsuit abuse. And joining us now to talk about St. Louis as a judicial hellhole is Tiger Joyce, the president of the American Tort Reform Association. A bit of an ignominious distinction, Tiger, for the city of St. Louis, but we appreciate you joining us this morning.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm delighted to be on with you. Yes, being number 6 is better than being number 1, but this is a list that no one should want to be on, and we hope that we can happily, after reform efforts and improvements, can remove you from the list.
Well, and I'll just add this too, because we do have the bi-state area, but number 7 on the list is the Cook, Madison, and St. Clair counties in Illinois. So I know a lot of our listeners are affected both by the St. Louis and the Illinois counties.
Absolutely, and I think there are probably some commonalities between the two areas, but in particular, we've highlighted some changes and some recent developments, which we think, again, it's important for, I think, your listeners, at least from our perspective, to understand that, that the issues that we raise and that we highlight really are not just lawyer issues. They're not just for judges. These are matters, as you cited the data in St. Louis, about the impact that this has. This comes out of everybody. Ultimately, these costs and these abusive costs come out of the pockets of consumers. They ultimately get passed on to all of us as consumers. And I think affecting change, serving as a catalyst for reforms and efforts in that regard is really what we hope to accomplish. And I think there have been some improvements in Missouri in recent times, but certainly more is necessary. And we think putting a spotlight on these abuses is really important.
So the idea for people who don't know what tort is, and you can add to this, it is the idea that a business or some sort of service is negligent and careless or whatever and ends up hurting somebody. And therefore, a person files a lawsuit in response. And that covers a number of different things. It's wide ranging. Would you argue that in itself is good, right? But you're saying that it's just there are too many abuses when it comes to these lawsuits.
Yeah, I think our civil justice system is one of the great virtues of our country, and people who are injured And I think you gave a good sort of general understanding. You're talking about physical injury and actually suffering an injury. Actually, if you read through the entire report, we see some jurisdictions where the problem is there's not even a requirement of proof of injury in some cases. But your point is well taken. That's exactly what we're contemplating here. What we try to highlight is that when it goes too far in one direction, for example, when you have lawyers from Kansas City who are simply sending demand letters to businesses in St. Louis about violations of the Americans with Disabilities Act, and on behalf of people who never even intend to use the facilities, use come and patronize a business. What sort of useful purpose does that serve? And so, simply the cost of making it go away. Then you have on the other end of the spectrum, you have a very, very large award that was issued against a trucking company of over $460 million. Now that actually took place in 2024, but the appellate process ran through this past year. And despite the fact that the individuals involved were over the legal intoxication level, you had the lack of seatbelt use was not admissible. All those matters were not admissible. The case ends up settling, and it settles. I don't know how much it settles for, but rather than really sort of being decided on the merits, it moves in that moves in the direction of one of these what we call nuclear verdicts, these excessively large awards in excess of $10 million. But back to your point, I think that our system is one of the crown jewels of how we govern ourselves and require people and organizations and businesses to take responsibility for their actions, but ensuring that it's done in a balanced way is what we think is important.
Yeah, just to give our listeners some real specifics here, and you referenced this, but the American with Disabilities Act, generally a good thing, but also can be abused. And the James Beard Award winning chef that St. Louisans know, who owns Sydney Street Cafe and Peacemaker Lobster and Crab, got a letter from the Kansas City-based attorney who was representing a blind man and said that, well, for one of your restaurants, the screen-accessed software is not compatible with the ADA. And this attorney, Kevin Puckett out of Kansas City, wrote that it was his goal to get a settlement agreement with Kevin Nishan, who owns this restaurant. Well, as it turns out, the Kansas City lawyer has filed at minimum 70 lawsuits on the behalf of the same blind man, who Kansas City reporters have said this blind man lives on the attorney's property and rents a trailer from him. And it just seems like they're in cahoots trying to find people to sue because maybe their websites somehow don't comply with the ADA, which, by the way, the website rules for the ADA are not clear. Like a ramp is very clear on how wide a ramp needs to be, but the website isn't like that. So you have this lawyer and this guy going around just trying to find places to sue. They've sued Straub's, they've sued Urban Chestnut, all these places right here in St. Louis.
That's exactly right. I mean, we talked about, what is a tort or what are we looking at in the civil justice system. Normally it involves actually suffering an injury. And here, as you mentioned, this is a case where the individual has not suffered any kind of an economic injury or physical injury. And this is an example of where you have lawyers who are using the system for their benefit and not for a broader benefit or to serve the interest of someone who has a legitimate claim. I would echo, I'm not an expert. We at ATRA are not experts on ADA compliance with regard to websites, but we hear widely reported, as you indicated, that the rules are quite complicated and unclear, and so it's something that is taken advantage of. But I think that it also demonstrates that this is not just an issue for large businesses. This is not just an issue for big manufacturers and others, or even I mentioned the trucking company. These are, restaurants. These are, small businesses. And if they're trying to do business, with a website, and just even their facilities and you mentioned ramps and matters like that, railings, even there, I think there can be abuse. But it's an issue that I think demonstrate these cases really demonstrate that this is not just a matter for, as I said, larger companies or insurers and others. But ultimately, these costs and the demand is usually for an amount that would be less than the cost of actually going to trial, going through hiring a lawyer, engaging in the likely increase that a business would have based on the company's insurance in terms of hiring, having the insurer retain counsel for the defendant. So all of that, it just takes advantage of that uncertainty, and I think it demonstrates again that too often we have examples of these matters where the system serves the interests of lawyers and not those who have legitimate claims. And for those people, we hear about different matters around the country. Illinois, your neighbors, many changed their rules with respect to the jurisdiction of the courts in Illinois. And what's the impact of that? That means you're going to have cases coming from all over the country being brought in Illinois courts. And keep in mind that it's the taxpayers in Illinois who pay for the courts, who pay to have the judges and the officials to officiate and manage the legal process in the courts in the state. So, again, the broader point that we think needs to come out of, and the purpose of our report is to highlight that ultimately these abuses and these excesses come out of the pockets of not lawyers and judges and others, but just everyday consumers and taxpayers.
So the data that you cite says that that tort is costing the average taxpayer $1,200, a little over $1,200 in the state of Missouri, a little over 1,000 in the state of Illinois, and that's something like 65,000 jobs lost. How do you get to that number? How do we know that it's 65,000 jobs that are lost as a result of this?
Well, that's an analysis that's done by a consulting firm that does this report every year. It evaluates different states and its jurisdictions. It uses a complicated series of analyses to make these determinations based on what it uses as what would be an effective and balanced system versus how the system is being undertaken and carried out in a given jurisdiction. So it varies widely. Some places the numbers are significantly higher. Even in parts of California, I think we see for a family of four, the awards or the so-called tort tax for a family of four could be almost double those amounts. So it does vary across the country, but they use a series of factors that they, in sort of the complexity of these types of analyses, and it's utilized as a basis to serve as an evaluation of the impact of lawsuit abuse, based on a series of assumptions about what would be a fair and balanced system.
Tiger Joyce, president of the American Tort Reform Association, we appreciate your time. Thank you for visiting with us today.
Thank you. Appreciate it very much.
That is Tiger Joyce joining the show. Amy Marks-Core is with me. I'm Chris Ranji. We've got 3 whole hours, but we're almost an hour in. Are you okay? Can you make it for the next couple? Because
Me?
Not you. Well, you. I know you can. We're talking about people listening on 104.1 FM and the Odyssey app. Because you need to hang in past 12 for the Gas House Gang. Did you know that?
Well,
it's Tom Ackerman to me. We're going to have Kevin Wheeler on the show. We'll talk a little college football playoffs.
oh no.
Going to be doing a show,
his
Amy.
alma mater, Miami.
And Indiana.
And in
we've
Tom's
got
alma mater.
Tom Ackerman,
Oh, my
Indiana
gosh.
guy, Miami with Kevin Wheeler. Oh, it's going to be
Wow.
sickening. But you're going to want to listen.
Makes me sick.
Gas House Gang's at 12 o'clock. It's Chris and Amy on KMOX.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up. My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband Ryan died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
As the owner, coach, and quarterback of your small business, you call the shots. From inventory to payroll and more. Now it's time to bring in LendSeek, your funding MVP. No delay of game here. Get up to $2 million in as fast as 24 hours for business lines of credit or term loans. Let LendSeek's AI marketplace assist you in making the winning play and score that touchdown. Apply at lendseek.com. LENDSEEK.com.
Hey, good morning. You're heading to the airport, right?
Yep, thanks for checking. I like the car. How long have you been a rideshare driver?
About 3 years now. I really enjoy it.
Isn't it hard to make money these days with the price of gas being so high?
Not for me. I use Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get real money back when you get gas with the Upside app?
Yep, I get real cash back every time I get gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make around $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code RAIN to get up to a $5 per gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code RAIN to get up to a $5 per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code RAIN.
Nominations for the 2026 Women of Achievement are now open. The St. Louis Area Award is the oldest ongoing program in the area whose sole mission is to honor and recognize the volunteer service and volunteer leadership of women. If you know an outstanding volunteer in the St. Louis metropolitan area, or if you are one, Women of Achievement wants to hear from you. Nominations, including self-nominations, may be submitted now through January 11th. Head to KMOX.com for more information.
Glover here for my friends at Cantor Injury Law. Cantor is local, and we're here doing the work every day. We're right here in St. Louis, and we're ready to fight for you. CantorInjuryLaw.com or call 314-628-9999.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be solely based on advertisements.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If you're one of the millions of Americans behind on your taxes, if you're afraid to open your mail because IRS collection letters could be coming, listen carefully. The IRS is cracking down, taking paychecks, freezing bank accounts, revoking passports. That's a fact. But here's what most people don't know. There are official tax relief programs designed to help struggling taxpayers. Programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief. Optima's award-winning team will fight to protect your paycheck, your passport, and your property. Their tax attorneys and licensed tax professionals will work tirelessly to get you the best deal possible with the IRS. Every day, penalties and interest keep piling up, so don't wait. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Hey, City fans, the official 2026 St. Louis City SC Yeti Refillable Rambler is here. Don't miss your chance to get the only reusable drinkware with exclusive in-and-out privileges at Energizer Park. Pre-order yours now at STLCityGo.com to guarantee you get yours by the home opener on February 21st and join St. Louis City in their mission to reduce waste on match day and every day.
It's men's Billikens basketball action tonight as they face VCU. Pregame 5:45, tip at 6 on your home for Billikens basketball. 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Now, did you see this? with Chris and Amy.
Well, this makes me sad.
Makes me sick. I don't even know what it is, but go ahead.
The sales growth at pizza chains has been relatively flat since 2023, and the popularity of pizzerias is dropping.
How is that possible?
How is that possible? Pizzerias went from being the second most popular type of U.S. chain restaurant in the 1990s to sixth most popular in terms of sales last year. Coffee shops and Mexican food joints now outnumber pizzerias, which thinned out in the U.S. after hitting a record high in 2019, according to the Wall Street Journal.
If I thought I could actually make a good living doing it, and maybe you can, I would open a coffee shop. But like your numbers tell us, I think there are too many coffee shops.
There's a lot of coffee shops.
How would you compete?
Well, yes, and they say also, I mean, what's crazy is that pizza shops peaked in 2019. We all know what happened in 2020. That was hard for restaurants across the board. But food inflation means menu prices are higher, so that's affecting people's spending habits. And believe it or not, GLP-1s, like Ozempic shots, are changing the way people are eating.
There you go. That does make a ton of sense. Amy, I know this story has been out there for a few days. I had not seen it until today. I know the Total Information AM reported on it this week, but did you see that Steve Ewing, the lead singer of the local band The Urge, and also the owner of Steve's Hot Dogs, we talked about the Delmar Loop location of Steve's closing, and the fountain is closing after the tornado, and the recovery's not happening fast enough. But Steve Ewing is starting a weekly residency at the Broadway Oyster Bar downtown.
That's fun.
That's very cool.
When does it start?
He'll be performing on Wednesdays, and I don't know exactly, but I think it is right here at the start of, might be tonight, actually.
Very cool.
And look, I love Broadway Oyster Bar. I think it's one of the, when people come in from out of town and they ask me about a cool place to go, I will tell them Broadway Oyster Bar. It's got a cool vibe. It's...
Tom Ackerman said that this morning, too. He said when people come in from out of town, he tells them Broadway Oyster Bar.
Yeah, it's a really cool vibe. Good music.
Yeah. Okay.
I love it.
I know I just talked about fast food, but there's a map of the most popular fast food restaurants by state. What do you think Missouri's is?
Fast food?
Mm-hmm.
Chick-fil-A.
Nope. Taco Bell. Joking. Taco Bell. What do you think Illinois is?
Taco Bell.
Guess it. Jimmy John's. I actually don't believe this because...
Well, Jimmy John's was started by somebody who went to University of Illinois.
Really?
Yes.
Jimmy
John.
Jimothy Jonathan.
He is from what I am told, he is an interesting fella.
Yeah, because didn't he kill a lion?
He did, and then he posted That's right, I forgot about
hate that.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to hunt, fine, kill a deer, but not lions. Anyway, Wendy's leads the map as the favorite in 6 states, which I don't believe, followed closely by Sonic with 5.
What do you mean? You don't believe what? That
Wendy's and Sonic lead the way with 11 of 51's favorites?
Why don't you believe that?
I don't know anybody who goes to Wendy's.
What? Wendy's was my favorite when I know everybody, McDonald's, right?
Yeah.
But my real, actual favorite as a kid was Wendy's.
Really?
Yeah, I think they have superior burgers.
Well, Wendy's, is a little bit more. What am I looking at? Is that Wyoming? Wait, Utah, Nevada. No, it's Utah Wendy's.
Utah Wendy's. That's where they're out of?
No, where's
one Dave from? Can we find out where Dave's dead? Dave Thomas.
I don't think McDonald's is anybody's favorite. Wow. Captain D's. Popeyes is in Louisiana.
Captain D's is an interesting choice.
Yeah, Captain D's, Popeyes.
Interesting.
Papa Murphy's.
Papa Murphy's is a pizza place.
Taco John's.
Never been there. That's Amy Marks Coors. I'm Chris Ranji. Hour 2 of the show is coming up, and apparently gas prices, we might see some relief at the pump. We'll tell you how much relief and why it's happening. We'll discuss that when we come back with business reporter for CNN, Matt Egan. He is next on KMOX.
At Graybar, we know your time is money. That's why our services go beyond parts and products. With kitting, pre-assembly, wire carts, and Graybar smart reels that keep you moving. We stage materials and manage logistics so you can spend less time sorting and more time installing. And with locations nationwide, we deliver when and where you need it, working to make your job easier every step of the way. Yep, Graybar does that.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. My best advice to you when hiring a lawyer for your injury case is simple. If you know court personnel, ask them who they'd hire. They know. If you know an insurance adjuster, ask them. They know. And then ask them about us. Ask them about Morgan & Morgan. They know. I look forward to talking to you soon. There's only one Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm, for the people. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
This is Corey from Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Installation. There's never a good time for your heating system to stop working. If yours does, no matter what time or day, Air Comfort Service offers 24/7 emergency HVAC service. Contact our award-winning team for 5-star heating service and stay in your comfort zone. For heating and 24/7 emergency service, contact Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Installation at aircomfortservice.com. That's aircomfortservice.com.
The trusted voice of St. Louis. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
I dared Archwell Health to keep track of my vitals and my grandkids' names.
I dared Archwell Health to simplify my prescriptions, so Max and I have more time to play. Good boy.
And I dared Archwell Health to be closer than my neighborhood coffee shop.
Our members dared us to do more as a primary care provider for adults age 60 and up. So we made it our mission. Visit archwellhealth.com and become a member today. Archwell Health. We dare to care.
It is 10 o'clock, and right now it is sunny and 46 degrees in downtown St. Louis. I'm Debbie Monterey. Denmark and Greenland are seeking a meeting with U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio after the Trump administration reiterated its intention of taking over Greenland. Tensions escalated after the White House Tuesday said the use of the military is always an option. Danish Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen warned earlier this week that a takeover would threaten NATO. A big jump in emergency room visits for the flu in Missouri last week. It went up to 11%, according to Dr. George Turobalizi, state epidemiologist with the Department of Health.
To compare, last year at the very peak, it was 13%, and we're already at 11%. And the hospital admissions went from about 200 to nearly 600 in the last week of December.
He says if the trend continues, it could be the worst flu season since 2011. County Executive Sam Page's request for the St. Louis County Council to spend RAMS settlement money on needs at the county's animal shelter and heating and cooling improvements for homeless shelters met with council opposition last night. At least one member says Page deserves a chance to prove his case. Here's Lisa Clancy.
I don't think that this request came out of nowhere. It's very precise, so there's
it's clear to me there's some kind of conflict, and I'd like that to be reconciled before we take any action on this.
The council's budget director said there's no scenario where he'd recommend spending $65,000 for homeless shelter needs. Page wants nearly $350,000 for animal shelter food, an issue council members argued is already covered in the budget. No vote was taken. From Rams to Bears, the Speaker of the Illinois House calls the Chicago Bears an iconic institution in the state, but suggests even icons need to read the room. Chicago Democrat Emmanuel Chris Welch says Illinois lawmakers are not hearing support from voters for the Bears' request for a property tax break for a new stadium in Arlington Heights.
Not to be insensitive to the Bears and their ownership, but when these folks are out knocking on doors right now, they're hearing people talk about the cost of prescription drugs, about the premiums of their health care insurance going up, grocery prices, rent.
Welch told reporters that the Bears' discussions toward a potential stadium site in Northwest Indiana is just a part of the negotiating process. From the business desk, sponsored by Krenz Financial Group, KFGadvisors.com, Slyman Brothers Appliances is expanding its showroom on Hampton Avenue in the city. The grand reopening is this Saturday. According to the Business Journal, Slyman consolidated its warehouse space to Baldwin, so they were able to convert the warehouse portion into a new showroom space. Slyman has been on Hampton for 40 years, and it's only the second time it's been renovated.
Mostly sunny and pleasant this afternoon. High 64. Clouds increase tonight, though 47. Tomorrow cloudy. A bit of rain during the late morning and midday hours. Then windy and warm in the afternoon with a shower or thunderstorm late. The high 67. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Sunny and 46 degrees right now in downtown St. Louis. I'm Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
Retirement shouldn't feel like balancing a checkbook while blindfolded. I'm Gary Goldberg, and my team helps you see the big picture so you can retire younger, richer, and with less anxiety. Because guessing is not a strategy. Tune in to Wealth and Wisdom with Gary Goldberg Saturday mornings at 7 here on KMOX.
The Chris and Amy Show is video streaming now on KMOX's YouTube, X, and Facebook pages. Click and subscribe.
Well, could gas prices be a bright spot in 2026? Maybe you won't be paying quite so much at the pump. To shed some light on this is business reporter for CNN, Matt Egan, who joins us now. Matt, thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Thanks for having me.
So, yes, gas prices will go down?
Well, there's a lot of optimism right now that it's going to be a good year when it comes to gas prices, at least from the perspective of drivers. Gas Buddy put out this forecast the other day where they think the annual average nationally will be just $2.97 a gallon. Now, that would be the fourth straight year of falling gas prices, a big improvement from almost $4 a gallon back in 2022. And in fact, this would be the cheapest since 2020 during COVID. And good news for everyone in the St. Louis area, Gas Buddy does expect that Missouri will be among the 10 states across the country where the annual average will be less than $2.75 a gallon. So that's certainly nice to see, especially at a time that we know people are spending a lot more elsewhere, whether it's their power bills, their heating bills, at the grocery store. Right now, the gas pump is certainly not the problem.
What about just to piggyback on those numbers, what about the state of Illinois? Do we have the numbers on that too?
Well, I don't have it handy exactly where they think it'll be, but I can tell you that in Illinois, AAA says the national average is $2.94 a gallon. So that's higher than the overall national average, which is $2.82 right now. But it's also lower than it has been in the past in Illinois. I mean, if you look back at this point last year, people were paying on average about $3.24 in Illinois. So it's certainly moving in the right direction.
Feels like we have to do this every time we talk about gas prices, that the president doesn't have a whole lot of control over what gas costs in this country. And it doesn't really seem to stick. So what is behind the gas price fluctuations, whether high or low? And you said for the last 4 years, it's been on the decline. So what is really behind all of that?
Yeah, it's a great question. Well, look, I think kind of like the stock market and the economy overall, presidents, they tend to get too much blame when things are going wrong and too much credit for when things are going right. Sometimes when you hear about cheap gasoline prices, you got to wonder, well, is that a sign of trouble in the economy? Does that mean that people are driving less and flying less and energy demand is low? But that's not really the case. Energy demand has been holding up pretty well. This is all about supply. U.S. supply hit all-time highs last year. It went up a little bit, not dramatically, but it went up a little bit. So that's helping. But the bigger story is overseas supply, specifically OPEC. For years, OPEC refused to pump more oil. And last year, under some pressure from the Trump administration, OPEC finally agreed to aggressively pump more oil. So now you have a situation where there's plenty of supply out there right now. And that's why oil prices have really been under control. Last year was the worst year for oil since 2020. And looking this morning, oil prices are just sitting at about $56, $57 a barrel. That's pretty cheap.
You know, this might be way too soon to tell, but obviously with everything that happened in Venezuela and the U.S. Seizing the dictator Maduro, and then President Trump saying that he would at least take control of some of the oil, or there would be payments to the U.S. or something. Like I said, a bit confusing with that. Does that have any effect on the pumps, like when I go get gas in the upcoming months?
It might. Look, this is a really fast-moving situation and somewhat unprecedented. So I'm not really sure anyone knows exactly how this is going to play out. But we do know for now this geopolitical uncertainty in Venezuela, and not just Venezuela, right? Because there's also all this uncertainty around Greenland and Colombia and Cuba and Ukraine. I mean, there's a lot going on right now. But for now, it is not unnerving the energy markets, right? Oil prices are down 1% today. They're lower today than they were at the end of last year. And so from the perspective of what is this going to mean to everyone's bottom lines, their own gas prices and how much they're spending, this is encouraging the fact that oil prices are down. But I would just note that there's a lot that has to happen in order to have U.S. oil companies really start investing in Venezuela. There's a lot of obstacles right now. Their situation on the ground is just very uncertain. The oil industry in Venezuela, it's in shambles. It would take enormous amounts of money from U.S. oil companies to try to really ramp up production there. And the fact that oil prices are low is obviously good news for consumers, but it also means it'll be that much harder to convince oil companies to spend aggressively, especially in a dangerous place where the rule of law and the political system is very much in doubt. It's not going to be easy to convince them when you've got oil prices below $60 a barrel that they should really be investing in Venezuela.
It sounds like a simple thing that we have taken control of Venezuela. Now we have all of their oil. Therefore, it's going to be cheaper for us, and all of our businesses are going to invest. I mean, I suppose there are multiple ways to look at that, and one of them is, well, this is great for us, right? But if that is the case, it's going to be some time, isn't it, before any of that can really happen, if at all, especially considering we don't even really know who's in charge right now.
Absolutely. Look, it's going to take a considerable amount of time to really get the Venezuelan economy back up and running. I mean, this is a country that's been dealing with hyperinflation for a long period of time, where they're having a hard time just keeping the lights on. Oil companies, U.S. oil companies, they've had some pretty bad experiences in Venezuela with Exxon and others having their assets nationalized and seized by the Venezuelan government years ago. And the other thing here is the money. So Rystad Energy, it's a consulting firm. They had put out an estimate the other day where they said, look, even if you just want to keep Venezuela's production steady, flat, it's going to require something like $50 billion of investment over the next 15 years. That's just to keep things steady. But if you really wanted to return Venezuela to its glory days of the late 1990s, when they were producing about 3 million barrels of oil per day, Well, Rystad says that's going to cost something like $180 billion through 2040. And so the question is, how do you get U.S. oil companies to make that kind of commitment, especially when there's other investment opportunities closer to home in maybe safer places with a better sense of the rule of law and the government system? How do you get them to do that? And who knows, maybe the federal government's going to step in and try to offer some sort of financial incentives to get the oil companies to do that. But it does not seem like that's going to be an easy thing to get them to do. And this is not a sure bet by any means.
You know, it's so confusing, the conversations around oil and crude oil production. And the Biden administration really didn't advertise this too much, but the U.S. did reach an all-time record in 2023, pumping out 13 million barrels a day in crude oil. And so I guess my question is, are we continuing to produce at that level? Has it increased? Has it decreased? And why is it so contentious to discuss it?
Yeah, well, that's a great question. It really is very contentious. It's been very politicized. Look, you're right. The Biden administration may not have really advertised it, but under former President Biden, the U.S. produced more oil than any country ever, right? The oil production for the U.S. at the end of 2024 was 13.4 million barrels per day. Now we're at 13.9 million. At least that's the most recent monthly estimate as of October. So it's gone up by about 400,000 barrels per day, but it's not like it's gone straight up, right? It's been a pretty small increase. So oil production still at or near all-time highs, but it's not a massively different situation than it was under the Biden administration. And I think to get those oil companies to really produce a lot more, you're probably going to need higher prices, which of course is not something that we as consumers want to see. But a lot of this goes back to the price of oil. And look, when prices are high, oil companies are going to invest more to drill more oil. And when they're low, they're probably going to kind of tap the brakes a little bit on production. So a lot of the reason why oil prices are down and gas prices are down has to do with, again, that overseas oil, especially the oil out of OPEC.
Matt, we appreciate the reporting, and we thank you for giving us time today to discuss the issue. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me. Hope to do it again soon.
Business reporter for CNN, Matt Egan, with us on KMOX.
Do you know, Debbie Monterey and I talked about this, and I think it was a few years ago. Everything's a blur. I'm really messed up since the COVID years. I think it was 21, 22. When were gas prices? They were really, really high.
Yeah, right around there.
Because I had joked, when people talk about gas prices, I'm like, it could be $1 million. What am I going to do? I still got to go to work. And I would always joke kind of flippantly about gas prices are what they are. I have to go see my parents. I've got things to do. But when they did hit those really high numbers, I did kind of think twice before I started making long drives all the time because I thought every time I filled up my car, it was so expensive. And it's, I don't know, like I said, to a point, I didn't not visit my parents. I obviously didn't not go to work.
What a great excuse to not go visit people in your life. I'm sorry, gas is just too high.
Yes. Well, I definitely did the math, like driving someplace versus flying. If you can get a great deal flying, sometimes it's not that bad compared to a long distance drive and you're filling up the tank.
You know, I just do wish that we would not have to have this conversation every so often about what really goes into gas prices, and that it's not whoever the president is, and how some things can be done on the margin, and taxes in each individual state will make a difference when it comes to how much you have to pay. Well, but we have to. Why do we have to keep doing this? It's the same conversation to me as why do we have to keep telling people that you can't drive slow in the fast lane? Why do we have to keep having this conversation? Everybody in the world knows that the left lane is for driving faster and passing.
Causes more accidents.
Why are we still
when you
having this
drive slow.
conversation?
And
So why are we still having the conversation about what controls the price of gas?
So I am not a great planner. I'm not good at chess because I can't plan 1 or 2 steps ahead. So I don't put myself in a good position to be able to pick the cheapest gas prices. Like I have a friend who's really devoted, a couple friends actually, who are really devoted to the Costco gas situation. But I think you have to time it right because the lines can be long. but I a lot of friends who are devoted to Costco because it's such a good price. I put myself in a bad situation where I show up to work and I'm like, oh, crap. I have 0 miles left.
Yeah.
And I just got to find the closest gas station. And so I'm guessing it's a handful of dollars that I'm messing up here when it comes to gas prices. I do notice it because I drive to Colorado. And then when I was in California.
Well, if you're driving that far, you're going to notice it.
You're going to notice it, but then also you notice like it's more expensive, in Colorado. And then when I went to California and Nevada, it's Nevada. I learned that the hard way. I learned that the hard way.
Right.
When I went to California and Nevada, the California gas prices were pretty darn expensive. So you kind of feel it. You're like, oof.
Chris and Amy on KMOX. Don't forget, bottom of the hour, 10:30, just after, we will talk to Lynn Worthy. The Cardinals made a trade. It's not the one you're thinking, but they did make a deal, and we will discuss that and more on the Cardinals offseason. That's coming up just after 10:30 on KMOX.
How many of you think taxes will go up in the future? And if they do, who will get hit the hardest? Maybe it's you, headed for retirement. You've been saving in that 401k or IRA for years, and that money has never been taxed. And Uncle Sam is looking at that account like it's a big, juicy steak. What can you do about it? Join the All Financial Group for their Taxes in Retirement Seminar, Thursday, January 22nd or Tuesday the 27th. They believe a financial plan is not a retirement plan without a tax plan. Reserve your spot today by calling 636-230-8824. That's 636-230-8824. Or go to yourmoneymattersstl.com. Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Neither the firm nor its agents nor representatives may offer tax or legal advice. Individuals should consult with their qualified professional for guidance before making any purchasing decisions.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
Every morning, we rise and shine, make breakfast, and brush away the night's rest. These routines help us start the day off right. Nature-Made vitamins are a simple step in that daily care regimen. Multivitamins with daily essentials, clinically studied probiotics for gut health support, magnesium to help relax the body. Nature-Made is made to care for you every day. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Hey City fans, the official 2026 St. Louis City SC Yeti Refillable Rambler is here. Don't miss your chance to get the only reusable drinkware with exclusive in and out privileges at Energizer Park. Pre-order yours now at stlcitygo.com to guarantee you get yours by the home opener on February 21st and join St. Louis City in their mission to reduce waste on match day and every day. What if every time you spent money, you saved money too? With Achieve It Checking from Together Credit Union, you can do just that. Every debit card purchase is rounded up to the nearest dollar, and the spare change goes right into your savings. And here's the best part. Together Credit Union boosts your progress by matching qualifying savings, up to $8 a month. It's a free checking account that helps you achieve more automatically. Learn more, or better yet, enroll today at togethercu.org. Together Credit Union, federally insured by NCUA.
Al Arbor, Barrett Jackman, and Alexander Steen.
Celebrate the newest inductees into the St. Louis Blues Hall of Fame, presented by First Community during a pregame ceremony on January 13th when the Blues take on the Hurricanes. Be sure to get here early to honor the legends and be one of the first 10,000 fans through the gate to receive a Blues Hall of Fame Class of 2026 banner courtesy of First Community. Get your tickets today at stlouisblues.com.
Don't miss Mosby Building Arts Home Improvement Show, Saturdays from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on KMOX. One of the last call-in shows where you can get live answers to your remodeling, design, and construction questions. Tune in Saturdays at 11 a.m.
Hi, this is Ron Jacobra. 100 years. That's how many years KMOX has been the voice of St. Louis. Congratulations to the Mighty Mocs.
Snap, hold, kick, up, good! For a national championship!
It's like when Lucy pulls the ball out from Charlie Brown when he's trying to kick the field goal and he lands on his back. This is from Mark in Knoxville, another ISU graduate.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Mark, dude. It just highlight ESPN, whatever. Just why. Appreciate the voice message on the Odyssey app. That's what you're supposed to do with the app. Besides listen to the show.
Don't cry. Don't cry. Hold it together. Suck it up, Buttercup.
Son of a...
Suck it up, Buttercup.
I can't. So voice messages, Odyssey app, there's a little button that says leave a message. You can record one. We prefer you send relatively short messages. You don't have to. You could leave a message like Kathy did.
Hey guys, it's Kathy in Kirkwood. First time listener, first time caller. Just wanted to say that I was so entertained by your discussion this morning about Illinois State and spite and close calls and blowing it that I stayed in my car to listen, even though I don't care about sports. And then I downloaded the Odyssey app to keep listening, whereupon I learned that we're extra simpatico because I also think dry January is a bad idea. And so Busch Lights on me if you're ever in the Kirkwood area. Thank you for being so good at your job. Keep it up. Bye.
Hell yes. Send that to Steve right now. Send it to Steve. Rub Steve's nose in that one, would you?
Oh, that's a little aggressive.
Oh, yeah. When are you guys going to start doing a good show? Listen to Kathy, Steve.
We're a little sensitive because we had our meeting yesterday.
He's always yelling at us.
I have to pump myself up. I tell Matt I love him and that, no matter what happens, we're in this together.
Now, forget it. But yeah, you can leave a voice message on the Odyssey app.
Thank you.
We appreciate Kathy.
The Wood of Kirk, man.
I'll be there.
My new neighborhood.
I'll be there for a Busch Light. Big dog.
Yep, I love it.
I love Kathy. Great job.
Okay, so we've seen the headline that the U.S. has seized Venezuelan dictator Nicolas Maduro and his wife. And I got to be honest, my first thought was, I guess they were a package deal. Like, if you're going to take the guy, you take his wife. Although now that I think about it, I don't know if that's how that works with Saddam Hussein or whatever. So anyway, I know the comedian Michelle Wolf posted this, and it was actually pretty interesting.
You know what's bothering me about the Venezuela business is that all the articles are like Maduro and his wife get arrested. Maduro and his wife appear in court. Maduro and his wife now agree that argument about dishes was silly. I made that one up, but I don't know, probably. She's not getting arrested just because she's his wife. She did a bunch of shit too. Long before she was married to him, she was the lawyer for Hugo Chavez. She was his president of the National Assembly. She was his attorney general. Then she became Maduro's wife and his advisor. This is my brand of feminism. She was evil before she married him, and she was evil during. So we should know her name. It's okay to call her the corrupt drug trafficking advisor and wife to Maduro, Celia Flores. And don't act like that's too long, because everyone in Latin America has 8 or 9 names anyway.
So it was actually, I did not know that about Celia Flores. And as Michelle Wolf said, she was an evil woman before she married Maduro. She's an evil woman afterwards. Kind of funny how she spun it as a feminism thing. But I do think if the United States arrested 2 people, you should know why the second person was also arrested. And again, I don't know if it was because of her past, in addition to her being married to Maduro, I don't think I've heard the official statement from the U.S., and maybe they did think it was a package deal. But kind of interesting. I didn't know that about her.
I didn't either.
She's Hugo Chavez's lawyer. Wolf.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't know anything about her. But if
kind of a good point, though, right?
Well, I mean, I don't look again. Don't know anything about Maduro's wife, except for what I'm hearing today. And I kind of don't care to know anything about her. But if she is a terrible person, then yes, just say she's a terrible person. She doesn't have to be referred to as his ball and chain, you know? Like, she's not a side piece. She may have also been complicit in being a bad person. And all that is completely separate from whether or not we should have done what we did. But I don't think you'd make the argument that he is a good guy.
No, that's not the argument. I just think it's interesting because when I stepped back to think about it, like I said, I think we should know the reason for arresting the people we arrested. We know the reason given why they arrested Maduro, but in the back of my mind, I was like, oh, yeah, I guess they got his wife, too. But it's like, if his wife, there has to be a reason to arrest her, too.
Yeah,
like
I agree.
If Trump were, I know, not to make it about Trump, if Trump were to go to prison, I don't think Melania's going. She's like, whatever. She's doing her own thing. You know what? You wouldn't throw her in prison because she's married to Trump.
Unless she said, I'm not leaving my husband, I'll go with you. Which I guess is, I don't know. But I just
sit next to each other in the Christmas picture.
I still think it's a little suspect that they went in there and got him unilaterally. I'm not saying he's a good guy. Just I don't know what we're doing. There are dictators all over the world, and we picked this one.
Well, now you
He's
know.
not the worst.
Now you know more about Celia Flores.
I guess. That's Amy Marks Coors. I'm Chris Ranji. The Cardinals did make a trade. Not a massive trade, but they made a deal for a left-handed pitcher. We will talk to Lynn Worthy, Cardinals writer for the St. Louis Post-Dispatch, about that deal and what might be to come and when. That is next on KMOX.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's Best Eggs. They're just so delicious with better nutrition, too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Weekdays at 5, it's Rush Hour Sports on KMOX. Hot stove blazing. College football bowl season heating up. College basketball teams making their final prep for conference play. NFL teams jockeying for playoff positions. And the latest in Cardinals baseball and Blues hockey. Fast updates, instant analysis, zero wasted seconds. St. Louis sports, all of it. Delivered right at Rush Hour. Rush Hour Sports, weekdays at 5 on KMOX.
Winterfest is back for the 10th year in Keener Plaza, now through January 11th. Enjoy Winterfest traditions, including ice skating, s'mores, and igloos underneath 100,000 twinkling lights in the shadow of the Gateway Arch. Grab a bite or drink from downtown favorites and enjoy a family-friendly New Year's Eve fireworks spectacular. Winterfest, hosted by Gateway Arch Park Foundation, presented by Bank of America and Worldwide Technology. For more info, KMOX.com/events.
Now, KMOX weather from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
Currently, it is 53 degrees. Sunshine and warm, a high of 65 tonight, increasing clouds, and a low of 46.
Weather sponsored by Renner Garage Door, forward and back, RENNER.
Cardinal Cowboy here. Renner Garage Door has you covered. Renner's been turning garage doors from zero to hero since 1966. RennerDoorSTL.com.
RENNER. It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Don't get lulled into believing the IRS is getting soft. It's just the opposite. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. We are being told by IRS collection officers that their higher-ups are demanding that they get more aggressive than ever. So don't ignore them any longer. Level up. If you have unfiled returns, unpaid taxes, levies, or liens, call me, Lance Drury, today and let me get between you and the IRS. I'll protect your rights. At the Lance Drury Law Firm, our practice is focused 100% on fighting the IRS. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems, and they need to be handled by an expert attorney who's done it for decades. So call the Lance Drury Law Firm today. We're local. Our office is right here in St. Louis. Call 314-260-6120. Visit Lance, D-R-U-R-Y, law.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Everyone needs to take care of their mental health, even running back Bijan Robinson.
When I'm on the field and feeling the pressure, I usually just take a deep breath. When I'm just breathing and seeing what's in front of me, everything just slows down. It just makes me feel great before I run the play.
Just like Bijan, we all need a strong mental game on and off the field. Make a game plan for your mental health at loveyourmindplaybook.org.
Love your mind.
Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Foundation, the Arthur M. Blank Family Foundation, and the Ad Council.
Pizza's here. Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Attention, have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-894-7722. That's 800-894-7722. Again, 800-894-7722.
It's men's Billikens basketball action tonight as they face VCU. Pregame 5:45, tip at 6 on your home for Billikens basketball. 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Here's 3-2. You got him. Right. Justin Brule. 1, 2, 3, top of the ninth.
Cardinals made a trade. That's right. They have acquired a left-handed pitcher by the name of Justin Brule for cash.
Is it considered a trade if it's for cash?
Well, yeah, you trade money. It doesn't have to be people, I don't think.
Isn't that just a purchase?
We're going to find out from Lynn Worthy, the Cardinals writer for the St. Louis Post-Dispatch, who joins us on 104.1 FM KMOX. How's it going, Lynn?
It's going well. Good morning. Happy New Year. All those things.
Yeah. So semantically.
Yeah. Is it a trade if you give cash for a player?
Technically, yes. I mean, of course, obviously, this one here is, people will want to put dry January on pause so they can go out and celebrate this one, of course.
Lynn's coming in swinging.
You're saying this deal's not going to move the needle much?
Well, it's I mean, it's one of those ones that the ones that you have to make every year, or you should make every year, where you're trying to bolster your bullpen and find sort of under the radar guys that may be key contributors for you. And just on the surface, it looks like Brule is one of those guys where I'm not sure if there was a usage thing or what was going on, if he made an adjustment, but it looks like his strikeout rate went up a little bit this past year, and he's a left-handed reliever, and they don't really have a whole lot of those in the 40-man group right now. And if Jojo Romero becomes a trade chip, which is sort of been rumored, then you'll need some depth there. So it's a trade that makes sense, but I wouldn't. I don't think it's changing the win total too much right now.
Well, just on the surface, it looks like a guy who has been pretty successful against lefties. He is a lefty himself. Do you think that's how they plan to use him, or are they trying to expand it and see if he can get right-handers out too?
I would think he'd start off as a left-handed, specialist, or anybody's a specialist. So I mean, you've got to be able to do a little bit of both. But a guy you look at again is a lefty reliever to get left-handers out, and depending on how the rest of the bullpen looks and shakes out. I mean, he is a guy who's got a little bit of experience. So, and depending on who else gets moved, they might not have a whole lot of experience back there. So, it's one of those moves. Like I say, you got to make it, and it makes sense. But I don't think it's moving the needle.
Lynn Worthy from the St. Louis Post-Dispatch covering the Cardinals, and I know that Cardinals fans are, I think a lot of them, not everybody, there are a lot of fans who do understand what is happening now, but then there are also those who are pretty impatient about what's happening, and they want the team to be good. They want them to be good quickly. They want them to move quickly on making trades like Arenado and Donovan and so on and so forth. Just how much action do you think we're going to see here in the next few weeks with spring training beginning, middle of next month?
Yeah, I mean, to me, I feel like it's going to most likely be slower rather than fast. Like you say, people are impatient, but I feel like the front office has to be patient, whether that's, with Donovan. I feel like that's one of those trades where they don't have to make the deal. I know everybody feels like, okay, it's been talked about so much, and you've been so many rumors that like this is something that has to get done, and when's it going to get done? But if you're the Cardinals' perspective, it's like you don't have to trade him if you're not getting what you feel like is worth it for you. I mean, he's a guy that you could still put in your lineup, move around. He could still be a good piece for you, and then maybe he gets traded later on down the line. Arenado, I feel like, is different. That one's a tough one to go into the season with him still there. I mean, I think and he's even said it, at the end of the last season when they did the farewell thing and talking to him afterwards, to media after in the clubhouse, I think his phrase was, he felt he used something along the lines of being in the way in terms of they needing to go with the young guys and see what they got. And he felt like he was a little bit in the way of that. So when you do the farewell, he's even said that about being in the way. I mean, I don't know how you go back from that one. But Donovan, I feel like, they can set a high bar and hold on for what they want, and they don't have to make that deal if they're not getting it. Arenado, I feel like has to get done, but that one also takes time too, just because, there's the no trade. There's a market out there where there's, other guys, whether that's Bregman or who else, teams are looking at where it might take those things to get done before you can actually move Arenado.
There was reporting last week that the Angels were interested in Arenado. Yesterday, Buster Olney and Jesse Rogers sort of reiterated that the market is slow on him right now. So, I mean, how slow is it, Lynn, and is it possible, or let me ask it this way, how possible is it that we could start the 2026 season and Arenado is still on the roster?
I mean, I think I guess it's possible. I just, personally, I don't see that as being a good thing for the Cardinals, because I feel like him being moved also opens up room for them to be able to get young guys in the lineup, get at-bats for guys that they need to get at-bats for. So, I mean, I guess in theory it's possible. And Keim has come out and said that releasing him was not an option. And while I believe face value, I also feel like even if it was an option or it was the last resort, I don't think he can come out and say that, because if you come out and say that, yeah, that's an option, then you're definitely not trading them. You're not getting it like that. You blow up any chance of trading them. So even if that is an option that, they could go to down the line, if they don't feel like the trade is going to happen, I don't think he can come out and say it. So, but yeah, I feel like that. I guess it is possible in theory, but I think that's just a bad situation for the Cardinals, even worse than, like last year, obviously, they said they were going to try and trade him. It never happened, and it didn't really end up being, that bad of a situation. But now that they've sort of flipped the page into a really full rebuild, and they've already had the send-off, and you've got guys that you need to get in the lineup as you go forward and try and figure out what the core looks like, he really would be in the way of that.
So far, the Cardinals have done a lot of dealing with the Boston Red Sox, and that is a team that Chaim Bloom used to work for. And there hasn't been a lot of it, but there's been some, I don't know if joking or mocking or at least some attention paid to the fact that that's who he's dealt with. Does that bother you? Does that register to you that the only real team that he's been up until this deal was the Boston Red Sox?
Not really, because when you talk about the prospects they've gotten back, it's one of those things where you have some familiarity, and some of them actually I think weren't even in the organization when he was there, but some of them obviously were. And also, I guess to go backwards too, like the Mets deal was still like Mo was running things, so like people put that one on Heim too, and I'm not really sure that I count that one because Mo was running things, but however you want to look at that. The ones this offseason have clearly been Heim running it, and it's been the Red Sox. And I think when you talk about prospects, there's probably a level of familiarity with the guys there, or the guys who are younger major league pitchers, and he's got some familiarity with them. So that's almost sort of a natural thing there in some ways, because there's always uncertainty when you're making trades, when you're going out and acquiring guys from other organizations. So when you have that extra background, it probably helps a little bit. So I don't think that's too crazy. And again, I don't really even put sometimes people say, oh yeah, well Dustin May was with the Red Sox too. I was like, yeah, he was there way after Heim was there. So again, there's some of it looks a little bit. You can make it look like a little bit worse than what it is. I don't really put a whole lot of stock in that. I think it's probably smart to have some familiarity with certain guys. It lined up in terms of the needs because the Red Sox didn't go and aggressively pursue somebody like Pete Alonso. So Wilson Contreras becomes an option for them. So I don't think it's really too out of whack.
I know we've talked a lot about Arenado. Is there a situation where the Cardinals in a trade scenario would really have the upper hand? Or like, oh, yes, they have leverage here? Or is it going to take a lot of really smart dealing from Chaim Bloom?
I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of leverage, at least not in my mind, because I think it's going to be one of those ones with the amount of money that he's owed where they're going to have to eat some money again, which they've shown that they're willing to do with the Sonny Gray and Contreras deals. And then also you have that Arenado has the choice on whether or not he actually wants to go. So I don't think there is a whole lot of leverage for the Cardinals in dealing him, which is another reason that I think it's, there's going to have to be patience there, and it could take some time. But again, I just going into the season with that feels to me like they'd be setting themselves back when they need to be moving forward and looking forward.
And even like with other players as they're looking to construct this new lineup, is there a player or situation where you see them having leverage?
In terms of, I'm not sure if
I guess any other trades that they might make.
I think it sounds like Jojo Romero has some interest out there, and is the left-handed relief to where we started with the Brule addition. Them being able to have a little bit of depth and being able to work from a position of strength somewhat, whereas you don't have to trade JoJo, but there seems to be interest, and it makes sense to maybe deal him. I think that one is one where they have a little bit of leverage in terms of, being able to shop them to different teams, being able to hold out and to try and get something, I don't know if you're going to get a top prospect, or maybe you get something that potentially is a little bit better than just a flyer on a guy. So I think that one is one where they're dealing with a little bit of a better situation in terms of their options, as opposed to Arenado, where it's really just you got to try and see what you can get, and probably have to pay a whole lot of money and make sure that he signs off on it, and you probably have to wait until some of the free agent stuff, some of those guys are off the table to see what's left. But I think when it comes to JoJo, and potentially if they move him, that one should be a different situation where they can be in a little bit better position to deal from there.
Just last thing before we go here, Lynn, as it is very early in Chaim Bloom's tenure as the president of baseball operations, do you have any sort of very early thoughts about him?
He seems, just early on, it seems pretty straightforward in what he wants to do. I think he seems to really. I mean, one of the first things he said after we had that introductory press conference, and then he sat down with a group of reporters. He really wanted to restructure some things, I think, behind the scenes, and it sounds like he's done that. It's not the types of things that become real evident to fans, but whether that's front office additions or moving people around into different responsibilities, and it seemed like that was something that was very important to him, or that he felt like was important for the organization, having taken that full year plus to really analyze what was going on. I think he's a guy that, he seems to be pretty straightforward in terms of how he speaks about what's going on. He really seems to have a real knowledge of what he wants to do in terms of changing the front office and changing the organization and what it's going to look like. And I think he's pretty steadfast in his approach. Like, I don't think he's going to go into a rebuild and then start changing course in the middle of it, or I think he's going to stick to the path that he's laid out, and I think he's going to be pretty stringent with that. But it's going to be interesting to see, assuming they get to a point where they're ready to sort of make those next steps, what that looks like, just because, he had a crazy situation in Boston where as soon as he came in, he had to sort of break the thing down. So it'll be interesting to see. Like, that's the part that's interesting to me, is what does that look like when it's time to start making moves to improve this team, to put it in a position to make a run. That part I don't really feel like I have a sense of, but I'm interested to see that.
Lynn Worthy, appreciate talking Cardinals baseball with you. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
Lynn covers the Cardinals for the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. Now that we are into the first week of January, it's coming, man. It is coming very
Winter
quickly.
warm-up is not this weekend, but next weekend,
January
correct?
17th and 18th. You can get tickets for Cardinals.com. The 17th and 18th, usually it's 3 days, just going to be over the weekend this time. So January 17th and 18th. And then, before you know it, spring training. Oh, baby, it's 2026.
Are they sending us?
They never send us.
I thought we let's
They
get on
never
this.
send us.
Maybe we'll take a poll. Should KMOX send Chris and Amy and Matt
I agree.
to spring training?
On at Chris Amy KMOX, follow us on Twitter and vote in the poll that we're going to put up here in 5 seconds. Should they send us to spring training? Yes or no? The answer is yes. Don't forget, George Mahey will join the show just after 11:30. We'll talk about openings and closings when it comes to restaurants in St. Louis. That's on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Let me tell you one of the reasons I think we became the largest injury firm in the world, and it's not even close. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. My wife and I had a plan early on. In our firm, our lawyers only work on certain types of cases. Our products liability and dangerous drug lawyers only work on those cases. Same for car crashes, workers' compensation, medical malpractice, and insurance disputes. Our thinking is for these lawyers to focus on one area of the law and live it and breathe it. Power comes from knowledge. Many lawyers do everything, jack of all trades. Not us. And we don't charge an hourly rate. You only pay us if we win. If you want to hire us, it's easy. Dial Pound Law on your cell phone, pound 529, or visit forthepeople.com on your phone or computer from the comfort of your own home. Let us get to work for you. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com. Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
It's a classic odor tale. You fried fish for dinner, cleaned up, but the smell is still in the house. And the neighbors are coming over for game night. They're on their way. And then you spray Febreze Air Mist. Febreze Air starts working instantly to fight even your toughest odors, so you go from fish to fresh like that. Now all you have to worry about is Pam cheating at charades.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
Let's take a moment to breathe. Deep inhale. Extend your spine. Remain focused on what you're doing. If safe to do so, exhale slowly, leaning to one side. Inhale back to center. If safe to do so, exhale slowly to the opposite side. Find mental health resources at loveyourmindtoday.org. This message is brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
Okay, we've got the chips, the fancy cheese, the sparkling cider. Oh, and I need to fill up the tank on the way home.
Look at the cart. We haven't even hit midnight yet, and you're already blowing your save money resolution for next year.
I'm not blowing it. I'm being smart. I'm using Upside.
Upside? That cash back app?
Exactly. I just claimed an offer, and just like that, I'm getting cash back on all these groceries. And I'll do the same at the gas station. It's how I earned an extra $250 this year.
Wait, $250?
Yep, that's extra cash I can cash out to my bank or throw onto gift cards to my favorite spots.
Download the free Upside app and start earning cash back now. Use promo code POP10 for a $10 bonus on your first grocery purchase. That's promo code POP10. Make your resolution easy this year. Download the free Upside app today and use promo code POP10 for an extra $10 bonus on your first purchase.
Offers vary by user and location at participating merchants. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
ZipRecruiter. Chris Raunchy, Amy Markscores, because life is too short for boring radio. 104.1 FM, KMOX.
We have a poll on our Twitter account, and we need you, and I mean need, because every time somebody follows us, an angel gets their wings. So if you that's the old saying. If you follow us on Twitter at Chris Amy KMOX, something good happens for somebody somewhere, and it could be you. You never know.
It could be us. It's probably us.
Might be us. We're always trying to look for things to rub our boss's nose in.
No,
Yes.
I didn't say it. That's
so
what you said.
Look at the followers. Yeah, what do you talk about, Steve? Look at this. So we want you to vote in our Twitter poll, and we asked the question earlier in the week: are you hate watching the Rams still? Because we are now officially 10 years since they have played their final game as a St. Louis Rams organization, and now they're in the playoffs. They got the Carolina Panthers coming up this weekend. And are you going to be hate watching? So the question is, are you hate watching the Los Angeles Rams? You have 3 options. I hate the Rams, I'm indifferent, or I am still a Rams fan.
Yeah.
That should say I'm still a Rams fan for some inexplicable reason. But please vote in our poll at Chris Amy KMOX and follow us while you're there.
You know, you said this week was flying by, and I said, well, I don't know if it's flying by, but it's not slow. You're
No.
right there. I do feel like we've had this question of the week for 100 days. It was yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, we brought it up on Monday because it just sort of came up with the playoff field
But our
stuff.
official question of the week is always Tuesday, and I
Yeah.
thought, wow, are we still on this question?
Did we do the other Twitter
We
poll?
didn't
that
do the
sent?
other poll yet.
Oh, yeah. Well, and you also have to vote in our other poll. Should
KMOX
send us to spring training.
Yes.
Just
Chris
Amy,
and
me, and Matt.
The Chris and Amy show.
I have a
Should they
question.
send the Chris and Amy show to spring training? I think it's important that we build a rapport with the Cardinals.
Right.
And I know you have a rapport with so many of the players and coaches and Ollie and Heim, but I haven't. I need to introduce myself. I think it's important that they know who I am.
I agree. I think they should know. And I think
they should know who I am. I don't know why,
And-
but I think it's important.
I think it's a good idea for us to go down there and just double check and make sure Florida is as weird as it sounds. And there's no way for us to know unless we go. I have a question.
Yeah.
I love our businesses here in St. Louis. Mobile on the Run.
Uh-huh.
Okay. They have a new promotion in the month of January. They are official partners of the Blues. And so their new promotion is Blues fans can get a free cup of coffee on every game day. And so every day, in the month of January.
Okay.
And in the month of January, you can go and get a free coffee at Mobile on the Run.
Because it's game day.
Right. So here's my question.
Okay.
How come the Cardinals have to score 6 runs for you to get that promotion, but the Blues just have to play?
I feel like it's condescending.
That doesn't seem fair,
It's
right?
condescending.
Like, how about if we just said, we can't say if the Blues win. We'll just say if they play, you can come get coffee.
Yeah, it does feel like, all right, Cardinals, when you guys score, let's say 6 runs. Every time you score 6 runs, people get free coffee. That sounds great. And then the Blues, hey, we want to be part of it. Okay, what do we have to do? Just show up. Show up. If it's game day, you get free coffee.
Yeah.
Well, why can't it be something like you get free coffee if the Blues score 2 goals?
How about if the Blues don't blow a 2-goal lead? You get free coffee.
Was tacos the Blues that if they scored $5 goals, they would get free tacos?
I don't remember that.
Because they'd go, we want tacos.
Oh, that sounds familiar, vaguely. I know there are a lot of basketball teams that do a 100-point promotion, like free Big Macs or something if they get to 100.
Well, this is very generous of Mobile on the Run.
I
Go
agree.
get your free up to 4, you said?
Wait, it can't be up to 4. Is that true?
Is that true?
And the Cardinals have to score 6 runs?
Everybody go now. Say the Chris and Amy show told you to go to On the Run to get free coffee because it's Blues game day.
And then tell them to pay us.
For the month of January.
I think it's unfair for the Cardinals. That's an unfair ask. Now you got to go score 6 runs.
This is what the victim mentality does to you.
That's Amy Marks-Kors. I'm Chris Ranji. I had this weird experience the other day, and I have to ask you a question about it, and I want to get your opinion on this, Amy, and we'll do it when we come back on KMOX.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code CODE to get an extra 35 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code CODE for a 35 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code CODE for a 35 cents per gallon bonus.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Hey City fans, the official 2026 St. Louis City SC Yeti Refillable Rambler is here. Don't miss your chance to get the only reusable drinkware with exclusive in-and-out privileges at Energizer Park. Pre-order yours now at stlcitygo.com to guarantee you get yours by the home opener on February 21st and join St. Louis City in their mission to reduce waste on match day and every day.
News, talk, cards. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
When it comes to planning your retirement, there's a lot to think about. Portfolio management, tax planning, and retirement income just to get started. Steve All and his team at the All Financial Group focus on those things and more. Their goal is to help you achieve your goals. Call 636-230-8824 or online, yourmoneymattersstl.com.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IBW, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Steve All, NPN number 153-07419.
It is 11:01. We've got partly sunny skies, 51 degrees in downtown St. Louis. I'm Debbie Monterey. According to numbers provided by the American Tort Reform Association, St. Louis ranked 6th in the nation last year for the worst judicial hellholes. More on that story coming up. The U.S. seizing 2 oil tankers with connections to Venezuela. This comes days after the U.S. arrested Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro in Caracas. Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth briefly took questions from the media before they went to brief House lawmakers. Rubio was asked about a senator's criticism that the administration looks like it's winging it.
We've gone into great detail with him about the planning. We've described it to him. In fact, it's not just winging it. It's not just saying or speculating it's going to happen. It's already happening.
I'm Vicky Barker at the Foreign Desk. A Danish official confirms the foreign ministers of Denmark and Greenland have requested a meeting with Secretary of State Marco Rubio for tomorrow. The alleged purpose, to plead that any invasion of Greenland would be unworkable. A State Department spokesperson tells CBS News the U.S. is interested in building commercial relationships that benefit Americans and Greenlanders and notes concern about the Arctic security situation. Vicky Barker, CBS News.
There's a very good chance you've been around someone who has the flu, says state epidemiologist Dr. George Turabelidze.
Also remember that every time you have flu and you wipe your face, your nose, a virus ends up on your fingers and can stay there for hours.
He says the virus can stick to countertops and doorknobs for a day or more. This is turning out to be one of the worst flu seasons in years. St. Louis County Police looking for the driver who struck and killed a pedestrian Sunday night, then left the scene before officers arrived. This happened in South County near the corner of Vescovo Drive and Lemay Ferry. Police identified the victim as 48-year-old Bryant Watkins of Lemay. In Los Angeles, Nick Reiner is set to be arraigned and enter a plea in the killing of his parents, Rob Reiner and Michelle Singer Reiner. The 32-year-old has been held without bail since the December 14th murders. The business desk sponsored by Krentz Financial Group, KFGadvisors.com. Again, the American Tort Reform Association saying St. Louis is 6th in the nation as the worst judicial hellhole. Association President Tiger Joyce tells Chris and Amy what types of lawsuits cause the damage to local taxpayers.
When you have lawyers from Kansas City who are simply sending demand letters to businesses in St. Louis about violations of the Americans with Disabilities Act and, on behalf of people who never even intend to use the facilities.
Joyce said the average St. Louis resident pays more than $1,600 per year in tort taxes, and thousands of jobs are lost annually in the city due to lawsuit abuse. He said Madison and St. Clair counties in Illinois are lumped in with Chicago's home base of Cook County, so they rank 7th worst in the nation.
A nice afternoon with plenty of sunshine. Our high 64. Clouds increase tonight, 47. Cloudy tomorrow. A little rain during the late morning and midday hours. Windy and warm in the afternoon with a late day shower or thunderstorm. High 67. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Right now it's partly cloudy, 51 degrees downtown. I'm Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
Chris and Amy now. The Dave Glover Show at 1 on the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
What did you just say?
I can't believe it. It's hurtful. I don't want to read it. I don't want to say it.
Well, you have to.
It's hurtful. So we put a poll on Twitter. Should KMOX send the Chris and Amy show to spring training?
Okay. Obvious yes.
Obvious yes. Somebody voted no.
I bet it's Steve.
You think it's Steve?
Yeah, it's got to be Steve.
And it even says explain why, jerk.
And they didn't do it.
And they didn't explain. Wow, that's actually pretty hurtful.
Who in the hell would do something like that?
We are the flagship for the Cardinals.
Right.
And the flagship doesn't want to send the midday show to spring training because it's too expensive?
That's ridiculous.
That can't be right.
A message to
How
314.
are the Cardinals going to respect us if they don't know who I am?
That's right. Maybe they'll respect us less when they meet us. They'll say, oh.
There's
ugh,
only one way to find out.
ugh. That's right.
That's
Hey,
right.
there you go. You can look at this two different ways.
Okay.
One, we'll go and we'll get good information. We'll build good relationships. Or if you don't like us, maybe you'll hope that they hate us too. And then you can
Oh my
bond
gosh.
with the
It's a
Cardinals and say,
win-win.
you could bond with the Cardinals and
Yeah.
say, look, told you.
Yeah.
The Cardinals hate you. We hate you. There you go.
And Ollie can be like, oh, that stupid Amy.
This-
He could say that, and everyone would go, yeah, I get it.
Yeah, Ron is watching on YouTube and says your boss voted no. Of
Unbelievable.
course he did. We know he did.
This is hurtful.
This message here to 314-436-7900 says, the Chris and Amy show going to Florida for the Cardinals spring training will obviously need a porter. So I am volunteering my services as a porter for Chris, Amy, and Matt in exchange for KMOX covering my transportation, lodging, meals,
Wow.
and access to Cardinals training facilities and spring training games. Damn.
Well, he sounds like us now, a reporter.
We don't even know that we can get that
We're
deal.
not going to get that. Ricky in South City says, was that Steve your boss?
Who voted no?
Who voted
of course
no.
it was. Of course it was.
Yeah, if they send us to spring training, I mean, we'll probably be on the street somewhere.
There's at Chris Amy KMOX, go to our
Mm-hmm.
Twitter account, vote for us, vote yes, and then we'll present it to Steve Moore, our boss, and then see what he says. But if you do vote no, you have to tell us why you're voting no.
Oh,
and
this is-
but there should be 0 no votes. I'll just
Listen.
say that.
This guy says Amy shouldn't go to spring training because she misses too much work. That's hurtful. But that would be
They're not
missing
wrong.
more work. But that would be missing more work if I
you
don't go to spring training.
Hey, I had this weird thing happen. I guess it's not that weird. It's a thing that I noticed, and people do it all the time. But I was in this little shop over the weekend, and it was just me, a friend of mine.
Can you tell us the nature of the shop?
Like a little. It was on Main Street in St. Charles.
Oh, well, you didn't have to get that specific. I just
Yeah.
thought maybe you could just say clothes
Well,
or
there's a lot of
spices.
shops. A lot of shops in
Oil,
St. Charles.
olive oil.
It wasn't oil.
Cigars.
Oh, actually, no. I think there were oils. A lot of oils and smells and incense and stuff like that.
Now you've given way too much information.
Well, those are in every little
Hey, Matt,
shop.
cut this out of the show.
So we're in there just, looking around, and it's us, the two of us, the gentleman who is behind the counter, and that's it, just 3 people. So then another guy walks in, a potential customer. Now there's 4 of us in this tiny shop.
Cramped.
Yeah. And if you've been to Main Street, you kind of know what I'm talking about. There are some small shops. It's quaint. It's a very quaint street.
I like quaint.
So there are 4 of us in the shop, and the guy behind the counter says to the newcomer who just walked in the door, says, hey, hello, how you doing? And the guy who walked in the door said, surprisingly pretty well. Okay, so...
Did he have any obvious signs
No, he just looked like
of
a guy.
recent distress?
No, he had a guy. It was just a guy with a jacket and shoes.
It wasn't like he walked in with his head in one of those cartoon
just like a-
bandages.
Just like a normal man coming into a shop.
Yeah.
Surprisingly pretty well.
So there's questions.
And okay, there are questions.
Yeah.
Nobody said a word though.
Right.
And so, we're just customers. We don't have to get involved.
Mm-mm. It would be weird if you did.
But the man clearly wanted somebody to follow up with him. Wanted somebody to say, "Oh, surprise! What do you mean surprisingly? Why would you not be doing
Mhm.
well? What's going on? Is everything okay?" And nobody did. And in fact, when he said surprisingly pretty well, the man behind the counter didn't say a word.
Yeah.
And
he didn't want to get in that.
like the rest of us, said, "We're not getting involved in that."
No.
And then we very quickly left the store because we just did. I didn't want to
Listen,
know about this man's life.
This is going to come across rude. It's just that it's never like a normal person who says that.
No. Well, I don't know. He might be.
He might be normal, but sometimes when they say surprisingly pretty well
They're
or
fishing.
they're fishing,
They're fishing.
you end up getting like absolutely verbal vomit of all sorts of information that you didn't necessarily need. And that I struggle with this because I want to be there for people. I want to be friendly, but sometimes you get absolutely ambushed by someone.
Yeah.
And I have been ambushed so many times that it's made me rather cynical.
I would. My instinct was to get out of there right away. When I thought about it, it was, well, maybe I should have asked. What do you mean surprisingly? Even though I would have inserted myself into the conversation. And I think if he had started to tell me the story, I might have just slowly faded out the door. Like not said anything back, just said, oh, that sounds really hard. Okay. And then
kind of
shut the door behind me. So my question is, people who fish, because this person was fishing for somebody to ask him about his day so he could vent. Is this appropriate? Is it inappropriate? Especially for a stranger to do it?
You're fishing for an ear. You're fishing for an audience.
Is Main Street St. Charles the place to get it?
I think it is as good as any other place. I think on Main Street St. Charles, you have a better chance fishing for an audience of getting a bite than maybe if you were in Manhattan.
Right.
They'd say, get out of here.
This is obnoxious behavior, though, right?
Well, here's the thing. Again, I really struggle because I think it's important to be a friend, be a neighbor, listen to people, and we all need someone to talk to. All I know is sometimes it's put me in a situation where I would pay $5 billion to get out of it.
To get out of it, yeah.
Yes.
You're right.
I'm like, please, can I leave?
I just thought it was a really. Do you do that? Do
Fish?
you? Yeah. Do you fish with strangers?
No.
Do you go up to somebody you don't know and want them to ask you about your day?
No, because what I do is I turn on a radio station and an open mic, and I give people my opinions for 3 or 4 hours a day.
Right.
We don't count.
But who goes? All right.
Maybe that person needs a radio show.
When somebody asks you, hey, how's it going today? You don't ever say, not so great. And here's why. My car with this thing, and then my daughter.
I know.
And my uncle's been kind of a jerk lately.
Because, nobody really wants to hear it.
No.
It's a nicety. It's a formality to say, hi, how are you? Fine, how are you? And to move on. Now, I will do that with friends or acquaintances. If I'm talking to someone, they go, fine. I'm like, oh, I go, fine. And I'll pry, and I say pry, but I'll follow up because you don't seem okay. Is everything okay? But that's a friend. That's someone I know, if they give you a perfunctory fine. But if it's a stranger and they walk into a coffee shop and they overshare, not in the group Steve. There was a guy not in the group Steve. We had to call him that because he would overshare. But then his actions, and he was a close talker, and he was a touchy-feely guy, implied way more intimacy. And I don't even, we didn't even know this guy. Mm-hmm. So other friends would think that this guy was part of our group because I think he was trying to insert himself into a little coffee group.
Well, do you think...
But he was kind of he had some pretty weird stories.
Yeah, you
really
hear
weird
those.
Stories about strangers spending the night at his house and waking up.
Actually, I want to hear that.
Delirium with popcorn and champagne all over.
Well, where's this guy been?
Well, I can tell you.
Bring him in here. Now, finally, somebody with an interesting life. Do you think this man in the St. Charles Main Street shop, when we did not follow up, when nobody followed up, nobody asked him, surprisingly,
he's
you're
probably
doing well?
bummed out.
And when I say nobody spoke a word, I mean nobody said anything. The man behind the counter said nothing.
Yeah.
Not like, oh, cool. Or anything like that, and then
because I think you could feel the weight of it.
And then my companion and I, we just left.
Yeah,
we just walked right out the door. So this person probably felt like, wow, nobody does care about me.
I know that's what I mean. That's a really horrible message to send.
But what do you want me to do? I don't want to get stuck in this conversation with this person.
Because, like I said, I've done it. I really have, and I say it because it is something I struggle with. Where, okay, this is why, again, unless you think, Amy, you're such a jerk. No, I'm really not. I really want to hear from people. I definitely think if you are a young woman and an older man wants to overshare, you need to be careful because I was 17 one time, and this older man was talking kind of like fishing for me to keep asking questions.
Yeah.
Turned out he had a record. He was a sex offender, and he was super creepy, but I felt bad. Okay, I need you to go away. Anyway, I mean, he didn't do anything, but I mean, that's what I mean. I feel like there's those stories, or there's the stories where you just get trapped by someone who unloads a lot of really personal information.
You know what? Now that I think about it, the more time I spend processing what this guy did, screw this guy.
No, you should have said
Yeah, no, to hell with it. You know why? Because he tried to lure us into a conversation. And how dare he do that?
Could you do something like a radio? Say, hey, man, I've got like 30 seconds, but why? You know what I mean? Like
hey, man, 30 seconds. What's up? Hey, you have 15 seconds.
I'm
Tell
late.
us what to
I'm
do.
running late for the airport. I got to keep walking towards the door, but why surprisingly?
I should have done that.
Because you're kind of interested, because he could have said, you know, like a country song. My wife left me, my truck broke down, my dog ran away. Or it could have been something real interesting. Like, well, the Russians found me.
A texter to the station says, as a mailman, I cannot stand it when people walk up to me to talk about the weather. Like I don't already know what the heck the weather is like.
Well, they're just trying to be nice.
Leave your mailman alone. They've got a route. They're trying to get through it. They don't need conversation. And I'm going to, I don't know where this person's route is, but I'm going to give them permission to throw away anybody's mail who tries to talk to them.
No, don't say that.
Yep.
I think that's a federal crime.
Yep.
It's a federal crime. Hey, I did want to clarify. We were talking about sending the Chris and Amy show to spring training, and a texter says, I noticed Chris says they will hate us, while Amy only talks about Amy.
Well, that's the truth.
There's a reason for that, and that is Ranj is a baseball guy. Ranj was like the White Sox pre- and post guy for 10 years. You did play-by-play for the White Sox. Everyone in the baseball world knows who Ranj is. Ranj being there makes sense. Ranj has a great relationship with Ali Marmol. Amy? What the heck is she doing here?
No, I think...
They're not going to like me at spring training. They're going to like you. That's why I only brought up Amy. Why would they hate you? They know you. I mean, that may be why they hate you, but...
This is a good tip.
Okay.
If you don't want anybody to give you an answer you don't want to hear, try saying, this is from a text and we appreciate it. It says, use a different greeting like, welcome, how can I help you? If you ask, how are you doing? Then you need to prepare for the answer.
Yeah.
So actually, now that I think about it even further, it's the guy behind the counter's fault.
Or
don't ask somebody how they're doing. What's wrong with you? Are you crazy?
We have a texter who says something to this extent, and I actually did read this a few weeks ago. If someone says, you know, they're crying or having a bad day or is fishing, like, oh, surprisingly pretty well, just respond, is it because of your haircut?
What? Oh! That is terrible.
The next time you see someone crying, ask them if it's because of their haircut.
Restaurants are closing. High Point had an announcement yesterday. We'll talk more about that. High Point Drive-In, you may have heard of that. We'll talk more about that. And what is to come in St. Louis. George Mahey, dining editor of St. Louis Magazine, will join us just after 11:30. It's Chris and Amy until the Gas House Gang at 12 o'clock on KMOX.
New tax resolution firms are popping up every day with high-paid celebrity endorsers, advertising ridiculous claims in their TV ads. That's why they have the tiny, unreadable disclaimers at the bottom of the screen. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. Our ads never have those ridiculous, fast-talking, tiny disclaimers at the end because, simply put, there are no guarantees when it comes to the IRS and wiping out tax bills. And we don't make promises we can't keep. Of course, there are ways the Lance Drury Law Firm can help resolve your tax debt, but no company can guarantee it will eliminate it. This is why their clients call the Lance Drury Law Firm when those promises don't pan out. If you have tax problems, you have legal problems, call me, Lance Drury in St. Louis, at 314-260-6120 or visit Lance, DRURY law.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Let's ring in the new year by finally checking off something that actually matters. Your old videotapes and photos are fading more every year. VCRs are disappearing and the clock is ticking to save your family's most important memories. Hi, I'm Adam Maslauger.
And I'm Nick Mako. We started Legacy Box to help you preserve your memories by converting all your videotapes, photos, and film reels into digital files. And this year, it's easier than ever.
Introducing our biggest kit yet, able to hold up to 80 videotapes or film reels or 2,000 photos. It's perfect for big collections. You can even send in old DVDs, memory cards, flip phones, or early generation iPhones.
Legacy Box is truly the easiest New Year's resolution you'll ever keep. Just fill your box and send it in. As the world's largest digitizer of home movies and photos, all work is done in the U.S., and we're trusted by over 1 million families.
Start the new year right by rescuing the moments you haven't watched in years. Go to legacybox.com/radio for an incredible 55% off. That's legacybox.com/radio for 55% off.
Here in St. Louis, we take pride in supporting our health and our community. That's why more and more families are turning to Neovitin multivitamins, created by a local physician and made right here in the U.S. using the highest quality domestic and international ingredients. With formulas for men, women, and adults 50 plus, Neovitin helps keep St. Louis families energized, supported, and ready for life. Find Neovitin at your local Dierbergs, Schnucks, and online at neovitin.com. Neovitin, trusted nutrition from St. Louis for St. Louis.
It's time to get organized this new year with Menards. Update your closet system and add style today with Closet Culture. Choose from 2 closet finishes and 4 colors of shelf boards to create a functional yet stylish closet solution that matches your home decor. Check out all our Closet Culture closet kits or view our weekly flyer on Menards.com to see all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
Hey, City fans, the official 2026 St. Louis City SC Yeti refillable Rambler is here. Pre-order yours now at stlcitygo.com to get yours by the home opener on February 21st.
Hey guys, Kevin Wheeler here for FanDuel, the #1 sports book in the United States. And I want to remind you, FanDuel is giving all customers a profit boost every college playoff game day. So that means more chances to level up your picks, and you can turn big moments into even bigger wins for yourself. So ride with the favorites. Take a shot on an underdog. Build a parlay that is a little more creative, that gives you a chance to play things the way that you want to, and then apply your profit boost and go for bigger winnings. So FanDuel is the best place to get into the football action all playoff long, and when you win, you get paid instantly. There's no delay, there's no waiting period. It's in your account, credited to you instantly. So visit FanDuel.com/Missouri to get your college playoff profit boost today. And remember, you have to be 21 or older and present in Missouri to play. An opt-in is required. Bonus is issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions do apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. And if you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is Senator Eric Schmidt congratulating KMOX and its 50,000 red-hot watts on 100 years on the air in St. Louis.
Well, the texts are coming in at 314-436-7900. To your story about the guy who was fishing for an audience, the 314 says, my sarcasm says, I understand the hesitation to engage with those responding with, quote, surprisingly well, as those people probably have a bar of soap they transfer from shower to sink on the daily.
Like Pajeski does? Like our producer, he uses the same bar of soap to wash his hands.
No, I
shower with it.
I use the same bar of soap in the shower that I do to wash my hands.
You ever been to a bathroom, a friend's bathroom or whatever, where the only bar of soap is in the shower?
Oh.
So then you have to, you have no choice.
No, I mean,
you have a choice.
Knock on wood.
The choice is not to even use that thing.
So then what do you do?
You go
I
to
would
the
rather
kitchen
not
and
wash
get
my
dish soap.
hands than reach into the shower and use the shower-used
That's
soap.
disgusting.
No, it is not.
So then what if you went Dookie?
I'll find something else.
Why can't you
What are
go
you
to the
gonna
kitchen?
find?
Use dish soap.
I'll use anything
will
else
do that.
other than that shower soap.
That's not a bad idea.
I wonder if it's more guys. I don't know. I feel like I haven't seen the bar of soap thing in a long time. Old people. I know some old people who had it, like great-grandparent age.
You ever, what is with the people in the... What is with the people in decorative soaps?
The decorative hand soap?
Yeah.
You know what? That was so big in the 90s because
Yeah,
they would
well,
have
it's not
little
a thing anymore, right?
little round, like stamped pastel colored soaps. You know where you could buy a lot of decorative soaps? St. Charles Main Street. They used to have a lot of them.
Oh my God, I feel like every shop I hadn't been to Main Street in a long time, except to go to like the bars late. But it's the first time I've been to Main Street to see the little shops in a very long time. It's all soap.
It's
Every shop
soap
is
and
soap.
candles.
Yes, soap
Yeah.
and candles and oils.
A lot of soap and candles and oils.
There were a lot of Christmas ornaments.
Mm-hmm.
So that was kind of cool.
The decorative bar soaps, because sometimes they would be like round and stamped with a design on top. Sometimes they'd be in the shape of something. Now, I will say this. Whole Foods people have a lot of bar soaps because there's always the table of bar soap stacked pretty high
Yes.
with the natural, rough cut bar soap.
Yeah.
Not the smooth like zest.
Yeah, I know what you're
but-
saying.
Yeah, like bricks almost.
Yeah.
But that you don't use for your hands.
No, that's for your body. Ron, I have no idea. Ron is watching on YouTube. You can watch the show YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. Bar soap is self-cleaning, Ron says. What are you talking about? It's not an oven.
Yeah.
Bar soap isn't. How is it self-cleaning?
And sometimes there's things on that soap.
Well, don't even.
know.
You need to not say that stuff, Matt.
I think I meant when we had this conversation a couple of weeks ago.
Mhm.
I believe I mentioned to you the Jay Moore joke. And in case you missed it, it's a pretty good joke. And I'm paraphrasing. And he was talking about how he had a bunch of brothers and sisters and everybody when he was growing up.
Yeah.
You use the same bar of soap, right? And he said, you better hope that soap is just a magical thing because think about the last place I wash and the first place you wash.
Yeah.
So, and I know some families, I've heard of this before in the olden days, which is disgusting to think about. But I guess I understand it when there wasn't running water. But even when there was running water, I knew people, young kids.
Don't say it.
Who would have to shower or bathe in order and use the same water from the brother or sister before.
Okay. I'm gonna.
I've heard if you were one of
well,
those.
I mean, back in the Little House on the Prairie days, like the cowboy days, yes.
There was no running water, but I mean, like
Yeah.
in the 80s and 90s.
No, I've never heard of that.
Yeah. So if
No,
anybody,
I mean, not in the 90s.
yep.
1890s, yes.
Nope. I'm telling you, I knew people who would have to share bathwater with a brother or sister when I was young, like really little, and then I heard about it in the 90s too. And I bet you it's even in the aughts. I bet there are
No.
people in the aughts who share bathwater.
Hey, we got to go to break here because we are going to welcome in George Mahey, dining editor of St. Louis Magazine, but we do have some Blues news.
Yeah.
Pius Suter, Blues forward, becomes the fourth Blue to be named to the Olympic Winter Games. Pius Suter will be joining Team Switzerland.
Okay. Congratulations.
Back after this.
That's like when we signed Lance Lynn.
Oh.
Okay.
No, Lance Lynn was a fan favorite. A little bit different. Pius Suter's been here for 5 minutes. But we do congratulate. Good for him.
He's playing in the Olympics. Switzerland.
Great. And we'll root against him. So congratulations for making it to the
You know
Olympics.
what? You're like working with a bar of soap.
I bet people agree with me. Who cares? We're going to Switzerland. You want them to win? No, you don't. Hey, George Mahey is coming up, dining editor of St. Louis Magazine. Openings, closings, restaurants in the area. We'll tell you all about them. But let me tell you all about the wild card round. You know what's happening now. I mean, I guess I didn't have to tell you about it, but NFL playoffs begin this weekend, and it is the wild card round. And FanDuel is turning on playoff mode right now, which means every customer gets a profit boost pack every NFL playoff game day. So each game day during the wild card round, you're going to find a pack loaded with multiple profit boosts. They'll be waiting for you in the app. You can pick the matchups you believe in. As I've said before, not a big fan of betting on my team one way or the other. However, I'm kind of liking the Bears to cover against Green Bay this weekend. So you could take your shot on an upset or build a parlay that fits the moment and then apply your profit boost and go after even bigger payouts while the playoffs keep going. So visit FanDuel.com. FanDuel is an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. FanDuel.com/Missouri. Grab your profit boost pack every NFL playoff game day. 21 plus and present in Missouri. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
For 100 years, KMOX has been the voice of St. Louis, informing, entertaining, and connecting our community. Now, relive a century of service at KMOX100.com, a website that allows you to explore classic KMOX audio, rare photos and video, and the legendary voices that shaped St. Louis. Every headline, every heartbreak, every heartbeat lives on at KMOX100.com. Now, KMOX weather from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
Currently, it's 58 degrees, sunshine and warm today, a high of 65. Tonight, increasing clouds, a low of 46.
Weather sponsored by Renner Garage Door, forward and back, RENNER.
Cardinal Cowboy here. Renner Garage Door has you covered. Renner's been turning garage doors from zero to hero since 1966. RennerDoorSTL.com.
RENNER. Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-284-1238. 800-284-1238. You have nothing to lose but everything to gain. 800-284-1238.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
You know Graybar for electrical parts. But there's one more thing you may not be thinking of us for that can help maximize your next project's total value. Our pre-project planning services are designed to help you win the bid, save on labor costs, and keep your installers productive across your entire build. The sooner you call us, the better. Because when we're there from the beginning, we can anticipate your needs and help you solve problems before they become problems. Yep, Graybar does that.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at LanceDruryLaw.com. It's men's Billikens basketball action tonight as they face VCU. Pregame 5:45, tip at 6 on your home for Billikens basketball. 104.1 FM, KMOX.
So yesterday, a social media post from High Points Drive-In announcing that they are closing 3 of their 9 locations. It's a very successful burger place that most people in St. Louis know about. And that's sad news. You don't want to see any businesses close, even if the business is staying, but some of the branches are going away. You still don't want to see that. And to talk about that with us and some of the other closings and openings happening in St. Louis, George Mahey, the dining editor with St. Louis Magazine, is in studio. Hello, George.
Hi, Raj. How you doing?
Good to see you, man. So what's going on with High Point?
Well, you know, I was as surprised as anybody to hear. I just thought that was the kind of place that, you know, hamburgers are solid, you know, pizza solid, tacos solid, good, safe businesses, relatively speaking. So I was a little bit surprised to hear about that, but not in the current economic climate. When it's time to tighten your belts, these kind of things happen. And there wasn't a lot of information in the press release, so I talked to the principal owner and to the minority owner, and I said, okay, what's going on? What's the deal? And nothing really surprised me that much. These were the underperforming units. There's still 6 left. It's not like the place has gone completely, gone. But so the 3 underperforming units were closed. This will allow them to concentrate on, the units that are there. And I said, so what's the plan? We're going to redo the menu. I said, this is a good point. And this is what I learned that wasn't in anybody else's story. They kind of retrenched a little bit, and they went back to super basics like burgers and fries, and that's about it. We're going to take away all the sandwiches. We're going to take away these specials. We're going to take away a lot of the stuff just to concentrate on the core, what we do, which is hamburgers. And they realized that was a mistake. They said, there's a lot of good places that serve smash burgers in town, good smash burgers, and you have to differentiate yourself. You have to be different. So now they've decided to go back to the original concept of, those fancy sandwiches and those big outrageous burgers and the stuff that was, we saw all over Instagram. So it's kind of back to the future in a sense for these guys. And this is what the majority partner told me, and Mike Johnson, who's the minority partner, he goes, and that's really a good idea because, I'm all for this because I'm the guy that created all this.
Right.
I'm the guy that started all this. These were my ideas. So he's really gung-ho about it. But I thought that was really kind of what's in the mind of the restaurant guy. It sounded like a good idea to kind of, let's just slow down and go back to, basics and there aren't as many moving parts with just burgers, but now you're going to see them kind of expand their menu reach again, which I find very interesting. And I said, so you guys, a year ago when you formed your new corporation, you said, oh, we're going to do, I forget how many, how many new high points, and they're in with the Taco Buddha guy, and we're going to do a bunch of Taco Buddhas too. I said, so what happens? What's going to happen with all that? He goes, no, we are full bore going ahead with expansion plans. So even though they're closing these units, you're going to see more high points, and you're going to see more Taco Buddhas coming up. And I said, you want to give a hint? And he said, we've got our eye on St. Charles for both concepts. And I said, how about beyond? How about regionally? And he said, we're open to that. We don't have any takers yet, but if somebody wants to talk to us about, Columbia, Missouri, we're interested. So it's very interesting that they closed, but it's not like the end of the, don't like sound the death knell here.
Right. And just so you know, the 3 locations that closed or are closing, Edwardsville and O'Fallon, Illinois, and Baldwin, Missouri. Right. So those are the 3 that are going away. And you mentioned Mike Johnson, Sugar Fire Mike Johnson, right. the relationship there. So we've had him in a bunch of times. Really great guy.
Yeah, and the Baldwin location was a much smaller one. I think these guys were so smart, and it was so cute. They called it a Little High. Because it's teeny and diminutive. So I thought that was kind of cute. But
we think of the regional reach because Session Taco, they opened a restaurant out in the Kansas City area.
Several. Yeah.
And guess it's going well for them. It's interesting about the sandwiches. I did think that with High Point, that it might be a weird lane if it's just burgers because, especially in an area like Baldwin, there's all the typical fast food joints, which are pretty cheap, and they've got burgers. Then there might be the slightly more expensive sit-down restaurants. So High Point was kind of straddling the two if it was just burgers.
Well, they were kind of being a little bit of something for everybody. And then they pulled back on that. And they said, you learn by making decisions like this. And we made a bad one there. And we're going to go back to the original concept. So all is not, lost in the High Point world.
So
a lot of closures to talk about.
Yeah,
it's that time of year.
Yeah. So what you got?
Well, I mean, there was a place called the Wheelhouse downtown.
Yeah, we know Wheelhouse,
which was there for I think 11 years, and they just closed after their big New Year's Eve party. And they're known for kind of wild parties and wild times, right? And I haven't heard anything about that party, but I didn't hear that there were any incidents or anything. So I'm sure they went out with a bang. But that they were there. for a long time, and they were known for their weekend brunches where they did they had those mimosa, all you can drink mimosas. And they did they do cocktail flights, 4 for $25 cocktails. They did a porn star martini, and no, I never asked what that was all about. So
why wouldn't you ask? That's the first question.
I just didn't go there. So anyway, a very colorful place.
Well, now they're out of business, George.
Great job, George.
Now I'll never get one. So but again, people got it confused with the Midwestern, which is their sister restaurant there also, and but it's still. I wondered if it's still open.
So I know they're sister restaurants, but isn't there some competition, and maybe Midwestern was taking some business away from Wheelhouse?
Possibly, and I think that a lot of the business from Wheelhouse will go to Midwestern. I should correct myself. The Midwestern is the place that has all these brunches and porn star martinis, so we still can get those there.
Okay.
So, but let's put that on your list of things to do. And they're kind of, these guys are kind of, like I said, they're very aggressive and very colorful. And I was looking at their social media, and the first entry for January, with all these kind of wild partying people, dry January never stood a chance. So welcome to the Midwestern.
Stupid idea. Dry January.
Yeah, well.
I have a quick question, and I want to get to more of the closings, but we talked about the High Point Baldwin closing.
Yep.
And we had a texter say that Baldwin location right there is not great and nothing seems to get traction. Why is it? There are certain buildings that restaurant after restaurant goes into a building and every single one fails, and you almost feel like it's cursed with the public.
I want to say, I've always said I don't believe in cursed locations. I believe in cursed operators. I think the right concept will work in any place. And there's been folks that have proven that correct. When Taco Buddha went into their original location, that place was a 5-time loser or 6.
Really?
And they proved that you can make it happen if you've got the right thing. So I don't know about that. And as far as that place a little high, part of the problem, I think part of the reason that they did that, it was supposed to have a drive-through. And I think the original place there did have a drive-through, which is kind of it's like the Holy Grail. If you got a drive-through, you're good. That's everybody likes to sit in their car and wait for food. But I don't know the reason for this, but they opened without the drive-through. They ended up doing what I thought was, they ignored the most appealing aspect of that site. So again, hindsight is 20/20, but they should have had a drive-through.
So you did say that there were some other closings to talk about. What do we have?
So another big story this week was the Steve's Hot Dogs fountain on Delmar closing. Right. That was,
and the fountain on Delmar.
Fountain on Delmar, all over the airwaves, all over the news, all over radio, all over, print. And they both closed on, or they're, I guess, set to close January 10th. So we've got a few more days there. And again, this is in the Delmar Maker District, which was obviously, a lot of it was decimated by the tornado. And, that story's out there of a lot of those residents there have been displaced and they haven't moved back. And that's, you need your core audience, you need your core neighborhood to support you. And if you're going to become a destination restaurant, that's fine. But that's a whole other. It's a little harder to pull off. You need the neighborhood to support you. So on the one hand, these guys decided to close these 2 units. But again, this wasn't Steve's only unit. There's several other Steve's hot dogs that the public can support. There is the flagship Fountain on Locust downtown, or where is that? Midtown, I guess. That people can support. So don't. It's just that it's going to be okay. And and everybody goes, well, what's the deal with the Delmar Maker District? Is it going to make it? Is it going to come back? And you see things like this and go, oh boy, maybe not. Maybe this is is this the beginning of the end? And then in the next sentence, I write that Ben Poremba who has several restaurants there, and he was going to reopen, if you remember, Elia and Olio, which were his two of his restaurants in Botanical Heights. He was going to reopen them in the Delmar Maker District. The tornado comes and pretty much wipes out the building that he was going to put those in. And I go, oh, that's going to be it for that. And he goes, oh, no, we're going to rebuild. And this Elia is going to be a restaurant like St. Louis has never seen, quote unquote. So he's going back, putting his these two restaurants in there. He has plans for another wine bar restaurant. And he's going to make another announcement in March for yet another restaurant. So Ben's going to have like 7 restaurants in this little strip of Del Mar. So if anybody can pull off the revival of the Del Mar Maker District single-handedly, it's going to be Ben Poremba. So, I mean, all eyes are on him. I've got, fingers crossed everywhere that these places are going to take off and go. In this place called Esca, if you guys have been to Esca, it's an incredible restaurant. Yeah. I mean, it was my favorite restaurant. Still is one of my very favorite restaurants. Was favorite restaurant of last year, maybe, and favorite till I go to another restaurant that I really like. Yeah. But anyway, hats off to Ben Poremba for doubling down and just putting his foot to the gas and going for it.
And to kind of like full circle, which you guys note in St. Louis Magazine, the old Elia and Olio space is a Taco Buddha now.
That's right.
Yeah,
exactly
coming full circle, tying it all together. And it's an old, 2-bay service station, gas station building that I think looks so cool. Not that everything has to be for the gram, but I mean, it's the Taco Buddha in that old Olio space is really cool. It's a really Instagrammable place.
And going back to Olio, it's in that service station, and the new Olio is also in a service station in the Del Mar Maker District.
That's awesome.
It looks like darn near a carbon copy of. It's like Ben couldn't have asked for a better duplicate.
Oh my gosh, I'm blanking. Is it Blueprint Coffee that's in the service station?
Yes.
In South
on Watson Road.
On Watson. That's such a cool space too.
You just gotta love those.
Yeah.
Anytime there's a converted service station,
I like that.
It's just cozy like that.
Really? The Hill has one, right?
Yes, they do.
I forgot what that's called, but it's a wine bar, maybe.
They still got the gas pumps out in front, and it's very charming. And the other guy that's doing one is Mike Del Pietro. He's doing one in U City that was in an old 3-bay service station. So I hope, again, you just hope that some of those old tiles are left, and maybe leave a little grease smudge around just to let somebody know it was a service station. One closing that wasn't announced and isn't horrible news is a place called Turn. Turn is a breakfast and lunch restaurant in the Grand Center district, and it's a guy named David Kirkland runs it, and he was the guy, if you remember, that started Cafe Osage in the Central West End, and a while back. This was before Bowood by Niche. It was in that building. Anyway, David Kirkland's a very talented guy. He's been doing this place called Turn, and he's a former DJ. So Turn Records, restaurant, Turn the tables, the whole bit. Yeah. So he's got his main wall has 72 vinyl album covers that he rotates out. So every time you go in there, you might see an album cover that you didn't see before, which is kind of a cute shtick. But anyway, David says, he goes, I got good news and bad news. I'm going to close the restaurant. I go, oh man, David, I'm so sorry to hear that. He goes, it's not all bad. My wife got a great job in Little Rock, Arkansas. She's going to be a curator of a major museum down there, and we're moving to Arkansas, and that happens this summer. So the last day will be May 31st. So he's got a long, slow goodbye, he said. So we've got 5 months to go and get to Turn before they close. So that's and he said, all things considered, if a restaurant can go out that way, that's the way you want to do it. He's going to have a heck of a 5 months.
That'll be very good for him.
And everybody wins, and it's like I said, it's going to be good news. It gives the landlord time to kind of shop the space, and let's line up a new guy. So that's the way to do it if you can. And so he's going out on his own terms.
George Mahey, dining editor for St. Louis Magazine. We never have enough time because there's always plenty to cover. We appreciate you coming in, though. Good to see you.
Anytime.
It's Chris and Amy on KMOX.
Out here in the middle of these acres, it can feel like you're the only person on Earth. That's how it feels when you're struggling with your mental health. But you don't have to feel alone. Find more information at loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
Let's go! You've still got it, but your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Hey, St. Louis City SC fans, mark your calendars now. The boys in red return to Energizer Park to kick off Season 4 Saturday, February 21st. And you could be there for the dawn of a new golden era of St. Louis soccer. Go to stlcitysc.com/tickets and reserve your seat now for the MLS home opener versus Charlotte FC. Limited quantities remain. See you soon, St. Louis.
This is Corey from Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. There's never a good time for your heating system to stop working. If yours does, no matter what time or day, Air Comfort Service offers 24/7 emergency HVAC service. Contact our award-winning team for 5-star heating service and stay in your comfort zone. For heating and 24/7 emergency service, contact Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation at aircomfortservice.com. That's aircomfortservice.com.
Okay, we've got the chips, the fancy cheese, the sparkling cider. Oh, and I need to fill up the tank on the way home.
Look at the cart. We haven't even hit midnight yet, and you're already blowing your save money resolution for next year.
I'm not blowing it. I'm being smart. I'm using Upside.
Upside? That cash back app?
Exactly. I just claimed an offer, and just like that, I'm getting cash back on all these groceries. And I'll do the same at the gas station. It's how I earned an extra $250 this year.
Wait, $250?
Yep, that's extra cash I can cash out to my bank or throw onto gift cards to my favorite spots.
Download the free Upside app and start earning cash back now. Use promo code POP10 for a $10 bonus on your first grocery purchase. That's promo code POP10. Make your resolution easy this year. Download the free Upside app today and use promo code POP10 for an extra $10 bonus on your first purchase.
Offers vary by user and location at participating merchants. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
Nominations for the 2026 Women of Achievement are now open. The St. Louis Area Award is the oldest ongoing program in the area whose sole mission is to honor and recognize the volunteer service and volunteer leadership of women. If you know an outstanding volunteer in the St. Louis metropolitan area, or if you are one, Women of Achievement wants to hear from you. Nominations, including self-nominations, may be submitted now through January 11th. Head to KMOX.com for more information.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code FRESH to get an extra 35 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code FRESH for a 35 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code FRESH for a 35 cents per gallon bonus.
The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Gas House Gang's coming up with Tom Ackerman and me. That will be at 12 o'clock, so we're just a few minutes away from that. We were just talking about some of the restaurants opening and closings, and High Point Drive-In still going to be around. It's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Several locations, but they're closing 3. And a text message here in regard to it says, their roast beef sandwich used to make me fall to my knees and my eyes roll up into my head with pleasure. I don't want you to, please do not text in smut. 314-436-7900. We're not here for your smut. You know, we want you to contribute to the conversation and not be gross about it. And if you're one of those people who likes to shower, did you read this one yet?
So a lot of people texting in about the
If you're one of
shared
those people who
bathwater.
likes to shower. I
Yeah,
said.
that's okay. No, a lot of text. Ron was saying he had friends who the whole family shared the bathwater.
Not the whole family. They made the kids.
How old were they?
I
Because
don't know,
babies,
younger
people
kids?
always put
Not
multiple
babies.
Because my sister's 2 years older than I am. I'm pretty sure when we were 3 and 5, we would be in the bathtub. That's normal.
Okay.
Not when you're 17 and 20. That's so gross.
So here's one message that says, I was a child of the late 60s and youngest of 3. The family shared bathwater in the family birth order.
Oh.
I'm grossed out by it now.
Because my grandma, who did live through the Depression, she would take a bath, and she would tell me when we were little we had to share the bath water. And I just remember being horrified.
And then texter goes on to say, it was different times then, and I was raised by wolves.
Oh.
This is Big Blonde Dan.
Yes, his.
He says, I have 3 kids, and when they were little, we would not drain and refill after each kid. What are you made of, water? The two
Yes.
older shower now, but come on, it's loaded with bubbles. It's sterile. It's sterile, right?
Gross.
I don't think that just because it has bubbles,
Yeah.
that means it's sterile.
I don't like taking a bath with myself. like I don't take
Oh, yeah, when you're in
baths.
your own. Ugh.
Ugh.
I think you have to shower before you bathe.
Oh, you have to shower before you bathe. Okay. I shouldn't say this out loud. I've taken ice baths, right? Like athletes will take ice baths.
Mhm.
And then you just wear your shorts and whatever into the tub. And it's my own bathtub. And maybe because it's an ice bath, it's different. But I'm telling you, I take showers. I've done an ice bath with running shorts on. But the whole idea of just me being in a bathtub with your butt on the bottom of
pretty gross.
on the bath, like the butt feeling the bath is so gross to me.
This texter, born in 79, so they'd be about 46 years old, says they used the same bathwater as the older sister until they had a second bathroom and added a shower.
Ugh.
And another one says, if it were that bad to share soap with bathwater and bathwater, why didn't everyone have terrible infections?
I think they did. People lived until they
died all
were
the time.
30.
Your life expectancy back in the 1800s was 15.
Yeah, in childhood, I think you had a 1 in 4 chance of making it past your first year.
That's why Joan of Arc led an entire army at 16.
They didn't have anyone else.
There's nobody else to do it. I love those old stories of people. This person was the general of the Northern Army, and they were 12. Well, yeah, because everybody died at 20.
Oh, my gosh. Robert brings up the ring around the bathtub after the water is drained.
Yeah, that's what you were sitting in. All right, Gas House Gang is coming up next. This show will be back tomorrow at 9, barring something disastrous happening between now and then, which is always possible.
Yeah.
But the show is back at 9. Anything you missed on the Odyssey app, KMOX.com, or wherever you get your podcasts. That's Amy Marks Kors. I'm Chris Ranji. Gas House Gang is next on KMOX. I want them to be out immediately, and you know what it is? Spite.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Tech.